I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! What is up? What is up? You know the deal. If you were out there and you were woken up way too early with Garage Gym Life, I appreciate you. First thing I need you to do is tell me, does my mic sound nice to you? All right, we are ready to go. We got a full lineup of things going on here today. Got a bunch of people in the live chat, and I want to give a shout out to everybody who is joining from YouTube, who's watching on Instagram, and who is watching on Facebook as well. First thing I got to do, because the YouTube crowd is used to this, but this is Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. And what is different about this show is we get to hear from you guys during the show. So I'm interviewing guests, but I'm also we're also listening to comments from you guys. So if I have a guest on and I ask him a question, I want to hear from you guys as well. Okay, so don't just sit there, because you guys on Instagram, you act like you're scared to talk. So go ahead, talk to me. We're talking about a topic and you want to know more about it, or you have something to add to the conversation, add to the conversation. This is supposed to be a good time. On this show, we talk about fitness-related content from a home gym perspective. And like I said, we get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community. And we have fun along the way. I'm John Greaves III. I am the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. And if this is your first time checking out this show, that was your primer to let you know what's going on. But welcome. I promise you're in for a good time today. First hour, we're going to have news and other things. That's going to follow this segment. And we're also going to have a brand new Recliner of Rage. I am ready to go. I'm fully charged and ready to go for Recliner of Rage. I'll tell you why I'm mad this week in the second hour, which will be 7 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to give a shout out to the Central Time Zone. Tell them thank you for waking up. And then by popular demand, Kinzi Wallentine. Coach Kinzi will be joining the show. She's going to talk about her new YouTube channel. And then in the third hour, BJ Nelson from the Iron Clinic is going to be joining us. We're going to talk about creating content for YouTube and Instagram. He creates stuff for TikTok as well. And we'll learn his criteria for music to be included on his public Spotify playlist. All right. And that is what we got going on. I'm going to have to end the show at 9 a.m. because I have a previous commitment. But we're going to go all the way to the 9 a.m. hour, saying what's up to every single time zone in the United States along the way. So now that you know what's going on, let's go ahead. I need you to, number one, smash that like button. If you're on YouTube, I need you to subscribe. If you're not on YouTube, come to YouTube and hit subscribe. If you are on LinkedIn, we're going to be adding LinkedIn to the show later on. But if you happen to have a LinkedIn account, please do me a favor and follow Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life on LinkedIn. But in any case, like I said, hit like and subscribe. If you watch on Instagram, hit that follow button for me. And let's go ahead and let's say what's up to everybody who is in the live chat. I see all of y'all. I see you all. So let's begin right out the gate. We got my man Carlos. CBS True Consumer Review says, wake up, wake up, wake up. Rise and grind on May's day 9. And he said, okay, he was trying to be poetic. All right, Carlos, you know what? You meant well. Your heart was in the right place. Over on Instagram, I got Rubio Rage. What's up, man? Has joined the Garage. Okay, Lamborghini, and one other have joined. Black and Bloom, Neo Spartan 321, W Lamb 09 all joined. What's up? If I look to my right like that, that's because Instagram is over there, and because of how the platform works, I cannot look directly at the camera if I want to see the Instagram comments. But I am going to be checking. So if you're on Instagram, make sure you're putting comments in there so that you can be part of the conversation. Next up, back to YouTube, says my guy Jared Martin says, good morning, everyone. What's up? Joey Work, he said, let's do this morning. Hey, I like your attitude, Joey. I don't know if this is your first time on the show, but I like that you came out the gate tan and rested and ready to go. That's what I'm talking about. Michael Brantley, what's up? What's up, man? Hey, don't think I didn't see your little shots fired Instagram reel that you posted, by the way. All right, talking about said, want to know why I said why your shirts are so tight, and you want to know why my belly, why the waistband of my belly is so tight. Okay, look, you know I got a glandular issue. My glands make me eat too much, but we are getting that under control. Okay, you just stand by, Michael. My guy T-Dog19. I'll be talking to you later on today. He says, "Wake up, wake up, wake up!" You dang right, man. Tell him, let him know how. Let him know the deal. T-Dog. Let's see here. The Kurt Locker says, "Good morning, Vietnam." That's one of my favorite movies, by the way. One of my favorite movies. What is up, Kurt? Thanks for joining. Let's see here. Oh, well, things are looking up right now. We already got 374 you guys in the building. Please go ahead and continue to share this video. Rubio Ray says, "What's up, bro? Been a minute." Hey, my man, I'm telling you, been a minute since we spoke, man. I'm glad you're doing well. Hope you're smashing every weight in sight. And let's see here. Everybody says my mic is nice. Man who parks in gym. What's up, Jason? He says, "Sup?" And our UK representative, Tattoo Saying, says, "Morning, USA." And go over to Home Gym Physique and knock on his door, because he claims he likes to show up last and say he's first. So go make him live up to that. Go get him. Go get him. Wake him up. Let's go. All right. So there we go. We have got all of that. We've seen who's in the live chat. Got a lot of stuff going on as usual. Numbers are going up. The StreamYard's telling me we got 498 of you watching already. That is what I like. Let's crank that up to 1,000. Okay, I need to get at least 1,000 people, not just watching, but interacting. All right, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. All right, without further delay, let's dive into our first official segment, and that is news and other themes. Let's go. Okay, first news item is Bells of Steel sent out an email in their weekly newsletter, said that they have upgraded the Buzzsaw bench. So let's go ahead and jump over to that, which means, you know what it means, right? That's correct. First screen share of the day. I know you like that. I know you do. That's right. Calm down, ladies. Calm down. We're going to be sharing a lot of screens today. If you yell like that, you're going to end up losing your voice before the show is over. I need you to scream for the guests as well. So here we go. Bells of Steel Buzzsaw Heavy Duty Adjustable Bench. So there's a lot going on here. Now, when I clicked the link in the newsletter, for some strange reason, it took me to the Canadian site, but that's fine, because I know how to get to the US site. And in case you're wondering, the way that you do that is go to my affiliate link. If you had that way, you'd be supporting the show as well. The affiliate link is in my Instagram bio. Shout out to a suggestion from I think it was Matthew Porter. I was talking to Matthew the other day, and he suggested I put it in my Instagram bio, as well. But anyway, it is also in the YouTube description. If you are on Facebook, sorry, I don't have it on there because Facebook's weird. Anyway, let's talk about the Buzzsaw Heavy Duty Adjustable Bench. So a couple of things. This is an upgrade to their FID weight bench, right? Well, actually, technically, it's an upgrade to the upgrade. So the Buzzsaw is an upgrade to their FI flat incline decline weight bench, but they've now upgraded the Buzzsaw itself. We're going to dive right into it. So first of all, as you guys can see, you got color options, which are black. All right. Then you've got blue, and you got purple, if that's what you want to put in your house for some strange reason. One of they said that the things that stand out as far as what's been upgraded are, you've got angled numbers. So you guys can see right here, the numbers, like for the settings for where the weight bench is set, the number design has been upgraded. And they have upgraded the bench to vinyl. They've upgraded the vinyl on the bench. Okay. So that is, in my opinion, a good upgrade to what was already, in my opinion, a decent bench. I've only used the original version. I used it at Home Gym Con in 2023, and I liked it. I actually thought it was a little bit narrow, but that actually would have fit with what was something that I ended up wanting to do later on. So, but at the time, I thought it was a little too narrow for just benching, but I think it would be awesome if this upgrade is the same as the original. I think that the buzzsaw bench is going to be excellent for flies, because my current bench, which is the Rep AB 5200 1.0, is a little too wide for me to do flies. I don't get enough range of motion because the bench gets in the way. So I actually have to put a foam roller underneath my back to be able to get enough range of motion to let the flies open up my chest and stretch me out. But I digress. So options you got are to just get the bench only, no, with no attachments. You can also get the whether that's blue, purple, or black. Then you also have the option of the bench with the leg extension, leg curl attachment plus the adapter. You can get the leg roller attachment plus the adapter. You can get everything: leg extension, leg curl, adapter, leg roller attachment. And then there's also a preacher curl attachment. Now, I was leaning towards getting this bench, because remember I said that I thought I think it'd be good for something like flies, but I'm gonna double check it when I get to Home Gym Con this year. But I was leaning towards it with a leg roller attachment because I want to be able to also add declines back into my training toolbox. And but now we got the Freak Athlete Hyper Pro. So I'm gonna actually try that to see if decline benching on that is possible, at least with dumbbells. And then if not, buzzsaw it is. Let's see here. Let's stop the presses. My apologies, Eric. I did not see you. Hey, I should have known better. I thought you were busy at work. I mean, I knew you were awake because you're at work. I did not see you. Eric says, I guess I'm just chopped liver. My bad, man. My bad. I thought I didn't see your comment, and I thought you were had just gotten busy at work and you would jump in later on. So my apologies. So now everybody's jumping on me. Okay. Man Parks the Gym said, yes, Eric. My tattoo saying Matt Wells says that's out of line. So I'll say, okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. All right. Look, I apologize. Hey, everybody, if you haven't said what's up to Eric Eccles or on Instagram, the Icebox Gym, make sure that you say what's up to him, Eric. I appreciate it, and I'm very sorry. Eric said I'm supposed to be busy. Look, I'm not kidding. I thought you actually were tied up with something at work. I know you get to work at the same time the club's closed and most people are going home. So I assume you're just busy at work. Anyway, I think so Jared has a comment. He said about darn time with those angles being called out. So I think, yeah, it's for me, the bench it's not a need. Obviously, it's a definite want, but I do want to see, like I said, I'd like to be able to add decline benching back into the training toolbox. And so we're just going to see, but I am going to now, because I'm curious, I'm also going to try the Hyper Pro, because all I got to do is, just wheel it over there, which is what I would do with the buzzsaw. I've only got room inside my rack for one bench to be stored at a time, so I'd still be wheeling the other bench over there. So we're gonna find out by the end of next week. I'm gonna know. T-Dog says Iron Master bench has a skinny and normal side of the pad for that exact reason. Yes, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if I'm gonna be benching, I want a wide, grippy pad, right? So I can get that. I don't know why I'm doing the setup right now. My shoulder, I'm pulling my shoulders back. All right, but it's I want a wide, grippy pad so that I have a good, stable foundation, right? But then if I'm doing something like flies, I want more range of motion. So I need the pad to be skinnier, and I don't actually want it to be grippy, if that makes sense. So my shoulders can move, without any hindrance. Back to the screen share, because there's something I wanted to point out that a couple other things. One thing about the preacher curl pass. Let's see here. Yeah, all right. So that's the leg rollers, leg extension, leg curl. I'm trying to see where's the dang. There's a thing showing the preacher curl. All right, so right there. So you see the preacher curl right there, right? The preacher curl is interesting, but the thing about it is I mentioned that we got the Hyper Pro. Well, we're already struggling because that has attachments, and you have to take the attachment. You can't just leave the attachments on the Hyper Pro, right? Depending on what you're using it for, you want to take attachments off, right? And so we're already at the point where we're going to have to do something with wall storage, increase our wall storage, because we got attachments all over the floor. And I'm completely against that, because I don't like, I train barefoot. I'm not trying to stub my toe. So I don't want to add yet another attachment that I'll have to, kind of get out of the way when I'm not using it. But I will say that I do like this better than the preacher pad, the AbMat preacher pad. So I just do. Okay. I just like the idea of having the preacher pad attached to the bench, so I don't have to worry about, like, pressure from my armpits holding the pad in place. Now, in-store pickup is available, okay? Because I want to, so in general, right? But unfortunately, you can't pick it up at the Indianapolis showroom right now. And it's also not available at the Torrance, California showroom. So they've upgraded it. But what this tells me is it's only in the California warehouse. And you know what else tells me that? If you go up here to the price, it's $854.99, right? Which is $639.99 plus a $215 tariff surcharge. So there's going to be, number one, shout out to Bells of Steel for being transparent about the cost. But basically, there's going to be a surcharge on anything that's not currently in their U.S. warehouse, which is no different than any other manufacturer that manufactures overseas or out of the country. I don't say overseas. Canada's in North America. Any other manufacturer that manufactures out of the country and then brings here, there's going to be some sort of surcharge. The exception to the high tariff surcharges is a brand like QLI Fitness. Now, I've been trying to get them to come on the show because I want to talk about that, because QLI Fitness, who we met at Home Gym Con, we met at HFA in Vegas in March. They make solid equipment, and Vietnam is not subject to the tariffs on Chinese products. So you still get the advantage of the cost savings from overseas. They do have a California warehouse, and you don't have to pay Chinese related surcharges. You're not even paying the Canadian surcharge. So I am working on getting them on here. All right. But yeah. And then now the thing that I said I wanted to talk about with the buzzsaw is something I have never seen before. Okay. So let me scroll down here all the way down to the bottom. What's up, Francois.pt? Black Horse, J Hill 6, and Matthew Ballino. What's up? Glad you guys jumped in here. Good seeing you. Let's go down here to the bottom. All right. So this right here, I'm going to highlight it, but then I'll read it in case you guys can't see it. Oh, look at you, Matt. I said I didn't realize he was on. My bad. Matt says Eric takes his time out of a busy day and gets ignored. I think you owe my official formal apology. I expect flowers and fireworks. Poor Eric trying to show support just to be overlooked. Justice for Eric. Let me tell you something, okay? All right. All right. I got no beef with Eric. And in fact, you know what, Eric? When I see you at Home Gym Con, I give you a hug. All right. That's what you get from me because I apologize. Anyway, but yeah, so back to the thing that I've never seen before. And that part that I highlighted, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says, important, if you are storing this bench vertically, ensure your floor is level, because uneven flooring may cause the bench to fall when stored upright. So that immediately got my attention, because as my guy No Fate 24/7, who is checking in, came by to see how it's done. Hey, you might be in the wrong place then. Nah. But No Fate 24/7, Jonathan, as you know, no garage floor is level. So if you're telling me that the garage floor has to be level or the bench is going to fall over if I store it upright, does that mean that the buzzsaw bench has to be stored on a lifting platform? Because typically you're going to level your lift. One of the reasons to get a lifting platform is to level your floor. So I'm going to actually call, pursuant to what you guys said, where Jared says you got to call Indy to verify anything that's in stock. And if it's in stock at Indy, Jameson can pick it up and bring it to your home gym con. Those are all valid points. Those of you who don't know Jameson, you need to get to know him. But so the plan is to buy it at Home Gym Con if we decide we want it, right? But Matt suggests bungee cords to hold it in place. See, I ain't trying to go through all that, but pursuant to what you guys are saying about calling them, I plan. I got to call into them anyway because I want to get an answer on that from Andrew. And then once I find out the answer, I'll let you guys know next week. But that's something I had not seen before. You know, not since benches, vertical storage for benches came out, have I seen anything saying, hey, you need to make sure your floor is level so the bench doesn't fall over. So that immediately caught my attention. So there is that. Once again, you guys can head on over to, actually, you can click, if you're watching on YouTube, you can just click the shopping button and any of the product, most of the products that we mentioned today are going to be included in that shopping button on YouTube. So the Bells of Steel Buzzsaw Bench is included in the products. Just click that shopping button, you'll be able to see it. If you're watching on Instagram, click the link in my bio and you'll be able to go over there, go over to Bells of Steel and check it out. Yeah. And let's see here. T-Dog say might just be a legal disclaimer due to its weight. That is fair. Because it does, let's see here. It's 11 gauge steel. It's got 1,000-pound weight capacity. I'm looking to see how heavy it is. Because it doesn't say it in the, let's see here. It's 98.4 pounds. Yeah, so just under 100 pounds. But I mean, I don't see it. It might be legal disclaimer, but I mean, I haven't been looking for it, but I haven't noticed it on any of the other 100-pound benches that you can store vertically out there. Somebody just jumped in here. Joey, what's up? My guy Joey Echeverria. He said, good morning. What's up, man? What is up? What is up? Eric talking about my shed slab is level. Well, yeah, if you're going to build a home gym, you need to make it, why not make it level? That's what I think. So yeah, all right. All right, so that is it for the Buzzsaw Bench. First item, if you guys, if you're watching on Instagram, you watch anywhere else, you have any other questions, go ahead and drop a comment and let me know what your question is. I'm happy to answer that question as we go through within this first segment. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's stop. Let's right there. Next news item is Microgains has new attachments for the Snowed. Is it Snowdy or Snowed? Whatever. The Snowed adjustable dumbbells. And so you guys can check that out right there. So Microgains, they are 1.125 pounds. These are magnetic weight attachments. So they're specifically designed for the Snowed adjustable dumbbells, which you have to get from Snowed. Go to the Snowed website, get your adjustable dumbbells from there. But if you want to be able to go up in increments using Microgains, they've made a specific attachment, a magnetic attachment for the Snowed adjustable dumbbells. Each plate weighs, as I said, 1.25 pounds. It's 7/16 thick, and right there, the plates have 3, so you guys can see a close up of it right there. Let's see if we can zoom. Can we zoom in a little bit more? All right, here we go. So that's what they look like, and they have a 3 neodymium N52 magnets on the back, and they'll magnetize to your dumbbell. So you set them down, and then they're going to magnetize to the dumbbell, so you don't have to worry about them slipping out. They're made from laser cut steel, and the plates are powder coated matte black. So you can see right there. You see they got the laser etched Microgains logo along with the laser etched weight right there. So it's easy to tell which plates you have. And they're made in the USA, so you don't have to worry about any of that pesky tariffs unless you live outside America. But one important thing is if you have a discount code for Microgains, it's not going to work on a new product, which means if you're interested in getting this item, this might be something that to check out when you get to Home Gym Con. Because I know all of you going to Home Gym Con, right? If you're not, then you don't love yourself. If you got a home gym and you're not going to Home Gym Con, you don't love yourself. If you're planning on getting a home gym and you're not going to Home Gym Con, you don't love yourself. So I'm just going to say that. So that is something that you guys might want to check out. I don't have any adjustable dumbbells in the house, and I don't plan on getting any. But that's just something to let you guys know. I do not have an affiliate link for Micro Gains. That's just information that I think that I wanted to put out there, let you guys know. So that's another item that you guys can check out. I've got the link, though, for that. Oh, I think I might be lying to you. Let me make an adjustment real quick. Add this right now. I'm going to put this right here because I forgot to put the link in the description. So I'm doing it now. I apologize. All right, so there we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, maybe it won't let me do that. Okay. All right, so we'll have to do it this way. So I got to do it on YouTube. Dadgummit. All right, so just one second. And I know this is riveting. There we go. Boom. All right, so, all right, got that right in there. All right, so, got that right there. All right, now, in fact, I'll tell you what. If you're watching on YouTube, let's go ahead. We're going to run a quick ad, and while I get this all cleaned up, and we'll be right back. All right. All right. If you're watching on Instagram, give me just a second because I'm going to paste the link right here as well. Hey, shout out to Major Fitness Global. All right. Boom. All right. So I just posted it on Instagram. All right. If you are watching on YouTube, let me know. Are you guys back? Are you back? So I don't like the way YouTube ads go, because if I do the manual ad edit thing, then it doesn't let me like I got no way of knowing if we're back. But from what I understand, you come back without any interruptions. So now we're back. All right. So Carlos said, fun fact, liking and sharing this stream increases your testosterone levels. Whoa, look at that. That's it from, hey, I might need to like and share the stream. Okay, I might need to do that. Get that testosterone as high as possible legally. And all right, T-Dog said they're back. All right, my man, appreciate you. All right, now, so let's go to the next item, and that is EliteFTS. I think I'm saying that correctly. EliteFTS collars are back in stock. So when I first talked about these, they had just gone out of stock, and I put down a thing to be notified when they came in stock, right? So I got an email. They're back in stock. So you guys can see right there, they have an open collar design. You put the collar next to the weight, and you press the lever down to lock it in place. All right, see that lever? There's a lever on the top. And you just put it up next to the weight and then pull it down to lock it in place. Each collar is 0.25 kilograms. So you're going to add 0.5 kilograms to each lift when in use. And I mean, that's not a lot at all. If you want to, but I know we live in the, I don't live in the wrong part of the earth. So we're going to go 0.25. So 0.25 kilograms is about 0.55 pounds. It's like half a pound, roughly, a little over half a pound. So that's really nothing. Hold up a second. Back to here. So the reason why I like it is it supposedly speeds up your weight changes. Now I went ahead and I placed an order this morning at 5:14. So I basically paused show prep to place my order because, like I said, last time I saw them, they were out of stock and I wanted to get them. So you guys, if you want to grab it, That link is going to be in the video description as well, and you better jump on it. In fact, I will share that link right now for those of you in the live chat who want to check it out. And so let's paste it right here. So if you want to check it out, just make sure you come back, okay? And if you're watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang. The link is going to be in the video description. So I got an, and so back to the thing. So I placed my order. I'm still waiting to get the tracking information. But what I did get was an email that I've never gotten before because I don't live in the places where this applies. And it said, please note that it says e-com. So I guess e-commerce orders, basically when you shop online. Please note that e-com orders are delivered according to CIP. Now, I know what you're saying, or maybe you're not saying, but what's CIP? So it's apparently it's customer identification program, which is basically the bank has to verify the identity of the customers, right? And so back to here. And so they're delivered according to CIP. And then, but more, I don't care about that. What is interesting to me is that any orders you place to EliteFTS, which is in Sweden, I believe, if you're placing the order to EliteFTS and you are outside of the EU, the USA, or Canada, customs, taxes, and fees are not included in the price. So I live in America, and I placed the order to EliteFTS, which is in Sweden, and they included the price includes the value-added tax, and so it came out to, let's see here, it came out as like $124.99 plus so it came out to $124.99, and that cost was the $115 plus a $9.99 delivery cost. I guess that includes shipping. But if you're in let's say Japan, like shout out to my guy Kevin in Japan, or my guy Connor in Australia. If you're in one of those places, hope you're having a good evening, but be aware that the price you paid at EliteFTS at checkout isn't the final price, because you're going to have to pay the remaining customs price when the collars are delivered to you. I hope that made sense. Right? So you place the order, and in the US, the EU, and Canada, that's pretty much it. If you live in Japan, New Zealand, India, Australia, then you're going to have to pay an additional customs fee when the collars arrive, when the collars are delivered. All right. Let's see here. All right. See, we got some comments. Let's jump right on it. Well, Eric, that's because you got YouTube Premium. All right, so your money has already been factored in by YouTube. Matt said he went from 3,000. Okay, you know what? This is a family. We're not even gonna talk about your testosterone levels, but his testosterone went up. Then let's see. T-Dog said the best thing I ever did was switch to kilo plates when I was competing in Olympic lifting, because kilo math is so much easier than pounds. I mean, so admittedly, when I compete in powerlifting and it's in kilos, but there's a kilo conversion chart. So there's that, right? But so if I were to get these, it'd be but I typically, unless I'm competing if I'm on the platform competing, actually, I don't even care about it when I'm competing, except for the fact that I'm checking like the plates, like blues, reds, whatever, right? But so make sure you don't get you don't get a misload. But really, even unless I'm actually the one doing the spotting loading at a powerlifting competition, I don't ever have to worry about the weight of the collars. So when I'm at home, I actually don't consider the weight of the collars when I'm lifting. So, if I say I benched 325, for example, I'm not including the weight of the collar. It's just the weight of the plates. So, when I get to a competition, that means I'm actually a little bit stronger. You got adrenaline, but also I haven't been counting the weight of the collar, so it doesn't really matter to me at all. Home Gym Physique has arrived. All right, good. Matt, you went to his door, knocked on his door, woke him up, got him over here. All right. So, hey, welcome to the show. You were not first, but thank you for joining us. Now, so he said $115 just for collars. So I want you to think about this, Home Gym Physique. I know that for you, a lot of this stuff is like, why would you want to spend on that? I've been to multiple gyms where I worked in a public gym, first job out of college. And one of the things that we ran into is because people would leave those spring collars, those cheap spring collars on the bar all the time. Those collars lose their grip over time, right? So you're constantly replacing the collars. All right. So at a certain point, the collars aren't doing what they're supposed to do, which is keep the weights from sliding off. Now, I know that there's a segment of humanity that likes to bench or squat or whatever without collars, because their theory is you can just tilt the bar and slide the plates off if you get stuck at the bottom. But I am not a fan of that, because then the weight, if I'm pressing and let's say I'm benching, and the weight is uneven as I'm getting closer to my sticking point, you could have a collar, you have the plates. I'm not really worried about it sliding off in that scenario, but I do care about it sliding, walking to the end of the bar. So now it's going to make the lift harder to complete. And as a general rule, I don't like failing in training, because I don't like to practice failure. Just think about that. I don't like practicing. That's why I like bodybuilders. I know they like training to failure. They don't care if they don't get a lift. They don't care. All right. But when I compete in a sport where you only get rewarded if you succeed. And in life and in training, I don't like to practice failure. It's a bad habit to develop, right? So there you go. Anyway, moving along. So that's why, to me, I rather buy collars that are going to last for a long time, because I'm essentially paying the price once. And I like to compare that cost to the cost of dental surgery. So I keep telling you, you pay more for a quality equipment because it's cheaper than getting surgery if something fails on you and hits you and the bar hits you in the face. All right, so there we go. All right, so let's move on right there. Now, we got 5 minutes for the last news item, which is interesting to me because that's just, I saw it. I know a lot of you guys, you're not necessarily fans of EliteFTS and they, Williams Strength or whatever, but I like what they do. I especially like the fact that they use the products they sell to allow them to deliver content for free. Okay. You're getting a lot of world-class content. If you go to EliteFTS.com, you're getting a lot of content from high-level coaches for free. And you're like, well, what does it cost? Well, they've got coaches who get paid to deliver information. So EliteFTS has to pay these people for delivering the content. Well, they get the money to pay them from the equipment sales that they do. All right. I think it's a fantastic business model. And to be honest with you, I'd rather all of us pay for equipment, so the price of some of these of the information we get is free, rather than all of us having to pay coaches $200, $300, $400 an hour, because they're definitely worth it. If you don't think they're worth it, then you've never experienced what a high-level coach is worth. Well, the quality of instruction a high-level coach can give you. But anyway, so I'm a fan of EliteFTS, and I got an email from them that said that you can get $50 worth of bands. If you buy $50 worth of bands, they're not going to charge you extra for shipping. So I said, well, just out of curiosity, well, how many bands does that take? So let's head on over to EliteFTS. I got it popping up on screen right now. And it looks to me like the best, most efficient way to do this is to just get a band pack, because the Mountain Dog band pack, the Juji Mufu band pack, which is $90.75, and the EliteFTS Pro Resistance band pack qualify. If you're somebody like me who already has a full thing of bands and you're trying to piecemeal it, that's gonna be a long day. because if you just getting, so like just one pro micro resistance band is $8.25. Okay. But I think shopping, what I try to do with bands is I buy them all at the same time, because in case you didn't know, kids, you should replace your bands periodically because they will fray and you don't want to have a band snap and hit you in somewhere sensitive. Okay. Since I typically buy all my bands at once, unless people decide to just send me bands, I replace them all at once. This is actually a good time. So if you're in that situation, this is a good time to go to EliteFTS and grab one of their band packs so you can just replace all of your bands at once. Keep yourself safe. Because I'm telling you, if a band snaps, let's say you're doing face pulls and the band snaps, it could easily blind you in an eye permanently. Okay? That's just one example of something that could go wrong if a band snaps. So just protect yourself, replace your bands periodically. Okay, so there you go. Get you some bands. Jared says, is Williams coming to Home Gym Con? I don't know. So I know Byung from Williams Strength was there last year. I did see a ton of traffic at their booth, but I wasn't, obviously I was busy quite a bit of the time. So I may not have I just may not have noticed. I think they have solid products, so I hope they are. I hope they are. So yeah, said Elite, and T-Dog said EliteFTS bands are awesome. I'm telling you. Oh, another reason I like them is because you can look on their website. I don't have time to do it now, but you can look on their website and it actually tells you the amount of band tension you're getting from a set of band, from a specific band, right? So you know how like you're using bands, you're like, well, how much if I'm benching and I got 315 on there and then I add like some light resistance, micro resistance bands, how heavy is the bar at maximum tension? Well, a lot of times you have no idea. Well, EliteFTS has a chart on their website. Heck, you can just Google it and it'll pull up and tell you specifically how much tension you get on each band from EliteFTS. So there you go. Let's pull that off of there. And there we go. Jake, my guy Jake, the authority on who's at Home Gym Con and who's not, because he's the one running it. He said Williams Strength is not going to be there. So they're not going to be there. All right. Moving along. It is 6:45. So it is time for the most popular segment. That's right. This is your first time watching this show. Daryl Yap, Drake Kent. If this is your first time watching this show, this is the most popular segment because people like to laugh at my pain. So here we go. Time for Recliner Rage. It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage because he's not happy.
You are absolutely right. I'm not happy. Absolutely right. You're not. I'm not happy. And here's why. Here we go. Today's Recliner Rage is dedicated to The Run. That is a brand name. The Run treadmill that I just reviewed, which decided to get in one last parting shot before it left my life forever. This is the same, just review. This is the same treadmill that pinched my foot so hard when I was testing it for the review. I just started testing it for the review, and it pinched the little thing on the side of the deck, pinched my foot so hard I thought it had cut me. This is the same treadmill that experienced a short in the power cable while we were shooting the review video and caused it to shut off suddenly. So after those events, I said I had enough, and I said I'm taking this treadmill to the dumpster. So I'm trying to lift this contraption into the dumpster, and I somehow cut my pinky finger, this pinky finger right here, on the frame that holds the digital display. So if we keep in score, and I know I am, that treadmill has pinched my foot and cut my finger. Now, to make it worse, I now have to live with the knowledge that I somehow have managed to cut my index finger on my left hand on a copy machine back in the late 90s and my pinky finger on my right hand on a treadmill display screen last week. But I ain't no punk. I am not about to let some treadmill get the best of me. So As soon as that happened, I ripped the digital display off the frame and hurled it into the dumpster. Then I flung the rest of the treadmill into the dumpster with it. And I'm going to tell you something else, okay? You can go tell them this, okay? You let any other treadmill that thinks that wants a shot at the title know that I got 8 uncut fingers left and nothing but hostility waiting for it. So you let them know all they got to do is come. If they want it, come get it. I got plenty of it. I'll be by the mailbox waiting for it. I ain't backing down no treadmill. It ain't happening. You out of your mind. You out of your mind. I'll fight a treadmill. I will fight a treadmill. I will fight a treadmill in front of people. Sell tickets. Run tell that. Have my treadmill dang cut my finger. Think I'm going to just sit down and just let a treadmill cut me? Who you take me for? Who you take me for? Who you take me for? Well, I ain't him. Okay. I feel like I may have gotten a little bit out of control. But it's worth it. Hey, I don't know if y'all out there letting treadmills bully you, but it don't happen at this address, okay? It don't happen at this address. I'm just going to tell you right now. It don't happen. It don't happen. It ain't going to happen. Oh, I see we got comments. Yeah, all right, here we here. Okay, sad. See, I always think that you guys, here's the thing. When I do recliner raids, you would think that people would like calm you down. Not this crew, okay? They're going to make it worse because of their comments. So T-Dog said running invokes rage just in general. Matt says, I've always said cardio isn't worth it. Joey said, I've always said cardio is dangerous. It's not worth the risk. I'm telling you, I will fight a treadmill. Anywhere you want, okay? Anywhere the treadmill is, I will fight it. And it can come to my house. I'll be waiting for it at the mailbox. Said, embrace the dark side. Carlos said, treadmills, come get these fingers. Hey, you get the entire fist. All right, if you're a treadmill and you want some of it, you better think again. You better talk to your friends. Let them calm you down because you don't want this. I'm crazy. I've done crazy stuff. I'll do it again. I don't mind. Okay? Okay. We're getting out of control. Kinzi's backstage. We're gonna scare Kinzi. I don't want her to leave. So let's calm down real quick, okay? Let's calm down real quick. Okay. Calm down. Take a breath. You don't need no high blood pressure, plus you got a whole show to do. So just come all the way down. That's better. Before we move along, let me address something. No, Matt, the treadmill does not have a 2-to-1 win ratio. It pinched my foot. It cut my finger. I ripped it in half, flung one part of it away into a dumpster, and then threw the rest of it away. So it's got impact damage as well. So I am ahead. I ain't losing no treadmill. You are relax. Relax, Matt, relax. I don't know if y'all take L's to treadmills over there in England, but over here, where we win battles, okay, where we win wars, as you and your entire country knows, we win when we fight, okay? All right? We do not take L's to treadmills. Jim Physique said those soundproof walls work great. Hey, everybody in the house need to be awake right now. So, we got stuff to do. We got business to conduct. Everybody get up. Everybody get up. Shout out to Pharrell. All right. Now that I probably scared everybody on Instagram away. It is 6:51, and we're going to be pulling our next guest on within a few minutes. We got Kinzi Wallentine. She's coming up, and we're going to be talking all about her YouTube channel. So you guys make sure you stay tuned for that. And I am not seeing any comments from Instagram. I saw one comment. If you guys have comments and questions for Kinzi and you are watching on Instagram, go ahead and put the comments on there. Especially you, Sup Talk Radio. I know you got something you want to ask for Kinzi. We're going to be asking her a number of things, including if you are a brand, Major Fitness. Pay attention now. I see you over there on Instagram. I see you watching. So pay attention. One of the questions I'm going to ask Kinzi is what's her criteria for working with a brand. So if you are a brand that's watching this right now, you want to pay attention. You definitely want to tune into this interview because she's getting a lot of traction. I love her content on YouTube. And so if you are interested in working with her, this is where you find out what she's looking for if she wants to work with a brand. So you guys make sure that you check that out. Let's go ahead and check back here. Make sure I haven't missed any comments, and I have not. Oh, okay. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be telling you guys about the Garage Gorilla Bar. All right, I'm back with the group. So quick shout out to everyone who has ordered a Garage Gorilla Bar. This bar is a beautiful collaboration between Garage Gym Life and Gorilla Strength. I'm a fan of how the bar performs. I love how it feels in my hand. We just had another one sold last week. And so I encourage you guys to check it out. The link is in the YouTube description. It is in my Instagram bio. You guys, you're going to be supporting the channel, yes, but you're also going to be getting an awesome bar in your hands. We don't have a discount code currently right now, but it is still an awesome bar. And one of the things I love about it is most of the time, if you go get an axle bar, it's going to be hollow. So it'll be like 80 pounds, right? So you have to do a little bit of, you got to do, I'm sorry, it'll be 15 pounds. I'll say 80 pounds. So when you get typically you get an axle, whether it's a knurled axle or just any other a smooth axle, a lot of times they're like 15 pounds. So yeah, they're cheap, but they don't give you the same training effect. Even if you add weights to them, they don't give you the same training effect. This bar is 45 pounds. It's a knurled axle bar, and it's got powerlifting knurl markings. So it matches what you would get in terms of markings on a power bar. Total length of the bar is about 80 inches. It's got an 1,800 pound working load. You're not going to be stronger than it. Now it will require axle bar collars, but I'm telling you, it is completely worth it. Jared doesn't have this bar, but he's a big fan of pressing with axle bars, so he can tell you how good it feels to press with an axle bar. And with this bar specifically, because of how the weight is balanced, it's completely balanced. So it's not like sometimes you get a bar and the weight is off center. Like if you were to cut it open, you look in there, the sides of the bar are not uniform thickness. That's not like that on this bar. It's calibrated to be 45 pounds exactly. You're getting what you pay for, and you're going to get a tremendous pump in your triceps. It's going to feel great with your shoulders, and it's going to improve your grip as well. And then when you go back to pressing with a regular bar, you're going to find that you're stronger. And so once you get your technique dialed in, that strength is going to carry over into a higher bench press. So definitely go ahead and check out the Garage Gorilla Bar. I will tell you that lead time is 2 weeks. So you can place your order via the link in the video description, as I said, and you're going to be able, you should have your bar in your hand with within 2 weeks or less. My guy Carb said he loves the Garage Gorilla Bar with the powerlifting ring marks. He's been using it, and yeah, I'm telling you, it's my favorite accessory bar to use. Well, it's my favorite accessory bar to use for pressing. Okay, so and I use the bar. We originally didn't even plan on selling it. I just wanted a bar for myself to use in my own training. So I used it for over a year before we ever put it out for other people to buy. And I can't stop raving about it and how awesome I think it is. All right, let's go ahead and add one more destination here. And okay, we're going to be, let's see, add our friends from LinkedIn. And we'll see if we can't get them right here. There we go. All right, so let's add everybody from LinkedIn. All right, it is now 6:56. So shout out to the Central Time Zone. If this is your first time checking out the show, thank you, welcome. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. This is a show where we talk to the people who influence everything in the home gym community, from the brands that create the equipment we use to the influencers and content creators who make the videos that and other content that we like to consume, and the athletes who show us that competing successfully while training for competition in a home gym is possible. So I want you guys to get active. Don't just watch. I want you to throw your comments in the chat and make yourself at home. We have a lot of fun along the way. I've got 2 guests coming up. The first is going to be Kinzi Wallentine, and she is going to be talking about her YouTube channel as well as her background. So you guys are in for a treat. Kinzi, you ready? She said, man, I was born ready. What are you talking about? I'm ready before you were ready, okay? I've been up since 2 a.m. All right. So everybody, show your love for my first guest of the day. First time on the show, too. By popular demand, Kinzi Wallentine.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? So
I'm doing so good. How are you?
I'm great. So for those of you guys who may not be aware, Kinzi is a content creator from the Kpex Home Gym Lab YouTube channel. She's also got an Instagram, and she is, by the way, a captain for the Wasatch Warriors of the Women's Football Alliance. And from what I could tell, you guys currently have a 1-0 record. Is that correct?
Yes, about to be 2-0, baby.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yep.
But the reason Kinzi's on the show today is because some of my up way too early OGs watched her channel and they interacted with her. Then they told me during one of the shows that I needed to get her on the show. So I was like, all right, sure. I said, well, go ahead. Let her know that I am going to be reaching out. Because sometimes when I reach out, people like, who is this guy, right? Or they know who I am and they can't believe, I'm not sure why, but they can't believe I'm actually reaching out to them to try to get him on the show. And so this is a tribute to you guys, because you said you guys let her know. I saw the comments. You guys said, hey, Garage Gym Life's going to be reaching out to you to get you on the show. Got the ball rolling, and that's how we got here. So Kinzi, thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. How you doing?
Yeah, it is early. It's early over here. I had to get up at 4 a.m., but I'm so excited. I'm awake. So.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, look, I feel your pain. If it makes you feel better, I woke up at 4 a.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. every Friday to finish up the show prep. So I feel your pain. You can, however, when this segment is over, if you want to go back to sleep, you can. Okay.
No, I got clients to train in here. I got clients. Yeah.
We got business. Hey,
yeah, we have
going back to sleep. All right.
Yeah.
We'll sleep later. All right.
Exactly.
So let's just go with this, and I'm gonna pull up your Instagram really quick, because I wanna be able to show some of your stuff right here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Looks like you did I appreciate that. You did I see your Instagram story mentioning the kid. Okay. So let's see here. So first question, just right off the bat, how did you go from out of shape to playing semi-pro football in the Women's Football Alliance? And when I say out of shape, because I don't want people to like, okay, what do you mean by out of shape, right? So this is, I like the smiley face. This is what you used to look like.
Okay? Yep. That's
right. All right. You were 200 pounds. How tall are you?
I'm 5'2", so 200 pounds is quite a
5'2", 200 pounds. You were 5'2", 200 pounds. And you dropped down to 140 pounds. So how did you go from that picture on the left to where you are now playing football in the WFA? Yeah. And by the way, and does that help you with coaching online, with coaching your clients in person and online? So talk a little bit about your journey.
Okay, well, I'll try to make long story short so that I can, fit all the questions in. That's the goal. But my garage gym life and my like how I did that.
I like that. There you go. Professional.
My garage gym, my garage gym life, and then like my YouTube journey and football journey. It all started with just my weight loss journey in general, and just gaining a bunch of confidence from that. So long story short, I gained a majority of that weight actually after I had my daughter back in 2015. So I actually got down to pre-pregnancy weight, and after that, I guess I just blew it, as you saw, because I gained about 40 pounds in about 6 months. So first 6 months of her life, my daughter was just, man, she didn't sleep. She just cried. So basically all of my attention was constantly on her. And it was a miserable 6 months of my life, but it gets better. So one day I hadn't left the house in 6 months. That's just how, she she was just a bad baby. She cried all the time. She never slept. So I was always just frazzled, tired, all the things as a first time mom would be. And so, yeah, I basically like, after 6 months, I was like, I need to get out of the house. Like, I need to go touch some grass, like anything.
Yeah.
So I remember I put on a pair of jeans that previously fit me. After I had her, I remember they did fit me at one point. And I went to go put them on, and I literally couldn't even get my calf in the pant leg, like not even my ankles in the pants. And I remember thinking, like, what the heck? Like, these just, I'm checking the pants to make sure they're the right pants. And I'm like, huh, like that's really crazy. These just fit me a few months back. So I'm like, I wonder how much I weigh. So I go downstairs, I get out the scale, and I stand on the scale, and that's when I saw that number. I just weighed right over 200 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember my heart sank because in high school, I'd always played sports. I'd always been athletic. I never really was over that 140, 150 pound mark. So when I saw that number, I just remember feeling like so defeated, and like, I remember being like, what do I even look like right now? And I remember I walked, because I didn't have a full length body mirror. I just got ready in the bathroom or whatever. And so I went and looked in a full size mirror that I had in the back room. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, like, I literally hadn't looked at myself or paid attention to myself in 6 months. And it kind of all just flooded over me at once. A lot of emotions, a lot of
Oh,
disappointment,
yeah.
a lot of sadness, a lot of like, I just remember thinking, and this is not a knock to, stay at home moms or anything like that. But I just remember like
Oh,
feeling,
yeah, 100%.
I don't want to be, that stay home mom that like just kind of like rolls over, and like my whole life encompasses being a stay at home mom, and I don't take care of me. And yeah,
Yeah.
I just remember feeling those emotions, and then feeling like, oh my gosh, like, who am I? Like, what do I even like to do? What are my hobbies? I'm just like going through all these emotions. And right then and there, I just made a commitment to myself. Like, I was like, this is not you. This is, not what you set off to do with your life. And so right then and there, I started researching, like, at the time, like, it was before I was a personal trainer. So I didn't know anything about, macros, calories, anything like that. So I started researching like crazy. I remember some nights I was up till 3 a.m. just like trying to get through like what's the truth and what's not, because when you look up how to lose weight, there's like,
Oh, God.
yeah, it's like,
Like,
Jesus.
geez.
Yeah. So like my first diet I remember trying was the military diet, and all
What
it,
the heck
and
is that?
okay, it's so dumb. Like when I look back, it makes me cringe, but you eat the same thing every day, and it's like I can't remember what breakfast was, but dinner was like 2 hot dogs, no bun, which is like terrible, not even that good for you.
First of all, let me stop you right there, okay? First of all, I didn't
No,
do that
no.
when I was in the military, okay? So
Exactly.
I like when people like give these names to things
Yeah.
that like to market it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I was in the
Yeah.
United States Marine Corps, all right? So even in boot camp, I wasn't eating 2 hot dogs every day.
No.
I don't think I had a hot dog till I left boot camp. All
Right.
right, we
Yeah.
ate like, brace yourselves. We ate normal food. We just didn't always eat a lot of it. So it was basic calories in versus calories out is how they
Right.
do everything. But that's interesting. They
Yeah.
call it the military diet. Kurt, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kurt, if Kurt's watching still, Kurt, have you ever heard of the military diet? And is there anything at all like that in the Air Force where you were a proud member? Yeah. But go ahead.
But yeah, so the draw to this diet was essentially like what, drew people in, I'm sure, is it's like you can have a scoop of ice cream at the end of the day and still lose weight. And if you don't know anything about nutrition or dieting, like you're like, that sounds pretty good. Like I get ice cream, and I didn't get 200 pounds for no reason. Like I liked
Yeah.
ice cream, obviously. So
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds awesome. I'm gonna try that. And essentially, like now that I know what I know, it's just a 1,200 calorie diet. That's all it
Yeah.
is. Like,
Yeah.
they just plugged in random, foods that
Like,
equal
what
1,200
would equal
calories.
exactly? What would equal 1,200 calories do that? So
Yeah.
Mike Brantley, who's a Navy vet, says I was on the all tuna diet on deployment, and almost got mercury poisoning. I mean, like, so I got tuna. Like when I was deployed to Iraq, I remember I got little tuna packets from the PX to add to like the foods we were gonna have, and like like we didn't even eat MREs every day when we were on deployment. Funny thing is, we actually eat MREs more in training than we did in when we're in combat. But that's partially because MREs are designed so you can only eat them for like 3 days before you have to change to normal food because it'll screw up your whatever. So your digestion, right? You'll end up getting locked up. Okay, so it's not a good time. But yeah, I never ate so much tuna in my life that I almost got mercury poison. That's crazy. Now here goes Rory, who's in the National Guard. All right, he said crayons are not normal food. Look, you know what? And you know what? I've never addressed this publicly, so I'm gonna say this. When I was in the Marine Corps, so I got out of the Corps in 2008. That crayons thing was not a thing. So I quite literally have no idea what you're talking about. I just know that people say it, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? All right, because we don't, but whatever. You just, you have time to come up with memes when the Marine Corps is out there protecting you. So that's why the National Guard does that. Hey, you just be quiet, and I'll let you know if there's a flood somewhere I need you to take care of. All right. Anyway, so back to Kinzi. You basically cleaned up your diet, cleaned up your life, and just became more active and ate less, right?
Yeah. I finally figured out macros finally. Like, obviously the military diet got real stupid real fast. So then I was like there, and then like I got into like extreme cardio. I remember like trying to run on the treadmill. I just remember my hips hurting, my knees hurting, and I was just like, there has to be an easier way. Like, it can't be this miserable to lose weight. And then that's kind of how I stumbled on macros and just staying in a calorie deficit. And over a 1.5 year period of time, I lost the weight. I actually got into powerlifting. That was my first introduction to fitness. And so powerlifting was like a really big pinnacle in my journey. I started training for that, and I broke a couple records right out the gate for powerlifting. And then, long story short, bulged a disc in my back doing that. I was training for Worlds, and I was going to pull 405, and I just herniated a disc in my back training for it. And then I was depressed because, I was about to break some more records, and then I got hurt. Kind of just felt like, that had been my life for 2 years at that point. Like,
it's so easy for powerlifting to become your life. It's like,
it is. It just
pull back because it's like its own little world, subculture. You start thinking. So what is crazy is like you start seeing people. They're like, oh, this guy's famous, so this woman's famous, right? And then you go like into another like people who lift and who into lifting, and you say the person's name and they have no idea who you're talking about, and it brings you back down to reality. Like, oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, you're not. Yeah. That's so it kind of brings you back to reality. Now, did you pull sumo or conventional?
Conventional, baby.
Okay, that's how you bulge that disc right there. All right, nice. All right, so
yeah, exactly. Duh. No.
There you go. All right, we'll continue. Go ahead. I'm listening. You have my full attention.
So, yeah. So basically, so at the time I was training with the world's strongest woman. Her name's Leslie Hoffman, and we were training really hard. And when the world's strongest woman tells you one more rep, you do one more rep. And that one more rep, unfortunately, was the rep that really hurt my back. And so, fast forward, was depressed for a while, whatever. I figured out, I started bodybuilding, started training for that. And so then I did my first show in 2020. I did my first bodybuilding show. I competed in a figure competition. I did fairly well. And I definitely have and I'm going to do a show this October, finally. The stars aligned. So I do plan on, you were saying something right before I came on about training in your home gym, for shows and stuff. And I'm planning on doing that for the first time. So I'm excited for that. So watch for that on my Instagram. I will be doing a show in October if the stars align. Anyways, long story short, I just kind of kept falling into different types of training, but that has made me a very well-rounded coach. And coming back full circle to football, now I'm doing football. And so I've had to, by trial and error, because last year I tore a hamstring, tore a quad. And so this year my training looked completely different than the training to 2024 season or 2023 season, excuse me. Because I was lifting so heavy because my goal was to be, just so strong for football. but
Right.
I was missing the, plyometrics. I was missing the explosive training. And so then when, practice started up 2-3 times a week, like just my, my calves were aching, my ankles were aching. Like
Yeah, your tendons are like, we've had enough. Your ligaments are
yeah,
like, we
they
can't do anymore. Yeah,
exactly.
I
They're
got you.
not used to those fast twitch movements. And so, yeah, long story short, first game, tore my hamstring, and I was just devastated, kind of another setback. But again, it just made me, be a better coach to myself and my clients, because now it's like, okay, now I know, which, in hindsight, it's kind of like, duh, you dummy. Of course, if you're lifting heavy in the gym day in and day out, and then you go try to sprint and, pivot and all these things, it's not going to work out. But, me thinking my body can do anything, anything I put it through,
Yeah,
just happened that way. So it makes me a better coach that way. I have a very broad, I've done powerlifting, I've done bodybuilding shows, now I'm in football.
yeah,
So as far as online clients, my favorite genre, I guess, for lack of better words, is just training general population people, because I like the simplicity of them just being able to turn their life around with a simple training routine. And so I don't have a ton of athletes. I don't have a ton of, people that do specialty things. I really focus on general population, and I'm trying to do more in-person clients. So I do have a lot of in-person clients and a lot of online clients. So yeah, that's how it makes me a better coach. Just failing, honestly, myself,
yeah.
and then being able to turn that around and just be a little bit smarter with my training.
So to quote, God, what was his name? He was a great MMA fighter, but he said, I'll remember his name in a second. But he said basically, it's like a champion learns with his mistakes. When a loser wins, they get lazy in the comfort zone. And so that's a longer version of what we've heard. It's like you either win or you learn. You never lose. You either win or you learn. So I
Yeah.
think that really makes a very well-rounded. I mean, even as a parent, like some of the life lessons you try to teach your kids are more impactful when you can tell them, okay, look, the reason I'm telling you not to do this is because when I did it, this is what
Yeah.
happened. And don't think you're going to be different. We got the same genetics. Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's probably going to happen to you too.
Yep.
So there's that picture right there of you in one of your Wasatch Warrior uniforms. And
Yes.
I got to say, look, tackle football is no joke, especially because something that I didn't realize is semi-pro football. You
Mhm.
play offense and defense, and I'm assuming you play special teams, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Luckily,
you're like a rugby player, like you just on the field. Is
yeah,
that right?
yeah. Yeah, so, I would like to say that I'm so good I play both ways, but the real reason is probably because it's hard to find women that wanna play tackle football.
Heck
So,
yeah.
we
The junk is hard.
actually
You can't find men who are going to play tackle football for that, unless you pay
exactly,
me a
for
lot of
free?
money, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I was
like
just
what?
saying for free. Volunteer.
We have a tackle football question. So let's go ahead and
Oh, sweet,
throw that on
sweet.
there and say Carlos wants to know when y'all play the Divas.
Oh, okay, the Divas. So they're not in
He
our
probably just
schedule.
Googled it right now. Don't give him no credit. He just Googled that, okay? But no,
Yeah,
go ahead.
we don't play the Divas this year, sadly, but they're really good. I think we played them last year, but I'm kind of like a goldfish. I just take what comes,
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
I only know what's on our schedule this year. So I know
There
we
you
don't
go.
play the Divas, but yeah, we just played the Oregon Cougars, beat them last week. This week is a very important. Our game tomorrow is a very, very important game. We play another Salt Lake City team. They I'm gonna air out their dirty laundry. Actually, I'm mad at them. They
Oh,
weren't
hold on, wait, hold
supposed
on.
to.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Before you do that, we're gonna do
Yeah.
this. Boom. All right. Go ahead.
All right. They weren't supposed to create another team in Salt Lake City, and they went ahead and did it. And so it kind of just makes it so now we have 3 teams, 3 women's teams in Salt Lake. One of the
Yeah.
teams are in a different division, a different league. But yeah, so
Okay.
they formed this team in our same league, and so and they've all been playing together for a long time. They're from the girls' league, and so basically anyone that turns 18, they have a team to go to. So,
Okay.
anyways, they're all really good. It's going to be probably the hardest game we play all season. They are good. They're fast. They're young. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's this Saturday. So that's what I've been preparing for. And yeah, but playing both sides of the ball is no joke. The only thing that saved me this last game is not being on kickoff. I'm on kick receive, but since it was 34-0, not being on kickoff was a
I think I see
savior.
casually
So.
like, yeah, but since we destroyed them, you know, I didn't have to worry about this kickoff situation. I mean, we don't give them the ball, okay? I'm not on kickoff. So let me stop right there. Anderson Hurt, he says, happy Friday, y'all. Hope it's good, going good out there. We do have a number of questions for you. And Jared, I starred your question for when we get further on in the interview, but I did not forget it. I saw it. And now Carlos also says, shout out to the shorties. He says, small height, all fight. Okay.
Short kings.
Hey, there you go. And Jared says, you know, it's impressive that you're a mom too. Hey, that's not easy at all. And Kevin, he's in Japan. He said, what's up, Kinzi? I'm the annoying commenter on your channel. So, and Carlos just subscribed to you. So you got a new
thank you, Carlos.
New subscribers. Everybody, you need to go and subscribe to at Kpex Home Gym Lab on YouTube. The link is in the description wherever you're watching this. The link should be in the video description. But it's also definitely going to be, if you're part of the Replay Gang, shout out to Replay Gang on YouTube. The link is in the video description, so you guys can just go there and make sure you subscribe. She's got really good stuff. But before we leave this football thing alone, I said that tackle football is no joke. I actually happen to have a clip from one of your games. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, y'all don't understand, okay? Y'all, look, right here, okay? You see that right there? So, it says, and it even called you, it says, Wallen, this is you guys playing the Central Valley Chaos, all right, in 2023. This is a play where you actually made the tackle. So right there, let's go. You read the play, top of the screen right there. Where you going? Go to your room. Look at that. I hear you. Kinzi's like, go to your room. Go to your room. Where you think you're going?
Yeah, I have some pretty. I've learned over the years. So this year, I told my coach I'm going all out. I'm going crazy. I'm going psycho. And something I pride myself on is I'm an outside linebacker. Actually, this year we found out corners. We found out corners not my jam. I was getting burned on the throws.
I've watched enough, so I didn't want to say it. I've watched a lot of your games, and I was like, ooh. Yeah. Hey, look, at least you didn't get mossed. I saw one game where one of your teammates got. I said, ooh, you got mossed. My wife, I was like, yeah, that may not be your position. But so you moving to outside linebacker.
Yeah, so outside linebacker is my home. Yeah, outside linebacker is my home.
Look at you edge rushing. Okay.
Yeah. That's my, because on the corner I was just getting burned on the throws, but then like anytime someone sweep to the outside, I was like ready, a lioness, if you will. And so yeah, the outside linebacker fits me so much better, and I feel really good about it.
You're fast, so you can go sideline to sideline. You can rush the passer if you want to be an edge. You can just basically just cause havoc. I do want to know though, are you a trash talker?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about right now. I want to hear it. What's the most don't tell it. Well, we got to keep it clean. What's the what have you said? What have you said? Give me an example of some trash talk. Like, let's say you just like after that play we just watched, you basically stopped the play before it started. What'd you say when you got up? Or were you saying that when you're tackling them?
I'll use my most recent trash talk.
Okay, yeah, let's go. I want to hear it.
Let's go. It's the most fresh. So basically, I overheard their play, and so I'm yelling to my defense. I'm like, all right, 38 power. I think it's 38 power pass or something like that. I was like, all right, guys, they're throwing 38 power pass, and then I'm like yelling it. I'm like, oh, look, we know exactly what they're gonna run, and then they actually ended up killing the play,
right?
Because I don't know what their signal was for that, but they were killing the play. And then they were coming up the middle. I think like maybe their kill play was, instead of throwing it, we're going up the middle. So then, she comes up the middle, and I just dove right in, grabbed her by the pads, and I'm like, let's go, as I'm taking her to the ground. And like literally just yelling, like, let's go. And then she's kind of like laughing, because at this point they're just so done. They're like, okay, and so she was kind of laughing, kind of mad, but took her to the ground. Then I just yelled, get some. And then, because I got to keep it clean out there on the field too. You know, you never know
Yeah,
what people are going to hear out there. So
that's
yeah,
right.
I just get some, and then, you know, chest bump my safety.
There you go.
And yeah, so yeah,
Right.
that's my trash talking. I usually just tell them I know the play, when even if I don't,
Oh
because
yeah, I got it. Because
yeah,
you're a
I'm like,
linebacker now too. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, I know your play. Like, go ahead, come on this side. See what happens. Come on this side. Because to date, I haven't missed a tackle to date.
That's right. I can verify that. Like I said, I watched a lot of your games. I'm not gonna play all of them just because
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love for this stream to still be monetized. But we do have a question. Is like, is your game tomorrow going to be broadcast on YouTube? If not, where can we watch? Because Carlos wants to know when
Yes.
how to watch your games. Because y'all are like that clip what came from the Women's Football Alliance. You guys can watch the entire game if you want. If somebody really wants the entire clip, I can share it with them. But if you just put that in YouTube in the search thing, you're going to get it from a lot of different places. So it just depends on which team is actually broadcasting it. So do you have that information?
Yes. So the best way to watch our games is to just go friend us on Facebook or like our page. We're the Wasatch Warriors. And yeah, so that's the best way, because we will always live stream on our Facebook. And
Okay.
then the clips generally don't get posted to YouTube. Well, sometimes either team will stream it on YouTube, so you can even search whatever team we're playing, and they'll be live streaming it. It is so hard on YouTube because there's so many like you've probably searched, and there's a bunch of, especially during the live, there's a lot of like scam videos up. And so the best way is just to go directly to our Facebook, and we always share the link before the game starts. So
gotcha. All right, so there you go. All right. So let's jump back into the comment section. The people on Instagram are scared to ask you questions, but everybody who's watching on YouTube is they're down for whatever. So they're saying bodybuilding prep in a home gym, and they shout it out to the homie Ashley Hromiak. I don't know if you are familiar with Ashley, but she's cool people. She's also a physique competitor. And let's say, and for some reason, Kevin wants to give me more work. He says we should do an online bodybuilding show at home hosted by John. I mean, that does sound interesting in a way, but it's like, so you'd have to have, because I'm thinking about the lighting. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have like good lighting so that the person isn't, you're basically posing or whatever.
Exactly.
But I think it'd kind of be interesting. You'd have to have like a different order, like who's going to come up next. But I will say this. It'd be great to practice your mandatories because you know that you're gonna get to do it. Hey, if enough people want us to do it, we could do it. And I know I can find some color commentators to help out with doing this. We can make this happen if y'all want. So I'm not saying no, Kevin. I'm just saying let's see if everybody's interested. We just got to get enough people who want to do it. Let's see. Moving on. Mike says you had a great gym review. He watched your gym tour.
Thank you.
And Carp, obviously, he's one of the people that got you on this show. So he's already
thank you, Carp. Shout out to Carp. Thank you.
Heck yeah. Carp is, if y'all don't know, Carp is president of the Replay Gang for this channel. So yeah, that's my guy. And let's see here. So Kevin has a question. He says, Kinzi, what do you say to women who say, but I don't want to get big and bulky? And while you answer that, I'm going to pull up some pictures from your Instagram to show that kind of like, big and bulky. Yeah. All right. So keeping in mind, like I said, you are, you mentioned you are 5'2", right?
Yep.
Okay.
5'2".
So let's go ahead. Let's pull this one up. So go ahead. What's your answer to Kevin? Like, women say they don't want to get big and bulky.
When women say that to me, I'm like, well, first, I can't relate because I'm trying. I'm trying to get no. But I just tell them, I say, hey, I've been doing this. Let's see, it's been 10 years now. 9-10 years I've been lifting. I've been sweating. I've been trying to get big and bulky. And I tell them, I say, I work really hard. I work really hard. I lift really hard. I promise you are not going to get big and bulky no matter how hard you try. Because I said, I've been trying for the last 10 years. So, and then I put them on the spot and I flex. I'm like, you think this is too big and bulky, or, see what they say. And, they're like, no, like, I don't know if they're lying to me, but they're like, no, you look good and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, well, this is what it is. Like, you got to lift really hard and you got to train. See, that was on purpose.
I'm about to say that. I was like, but they probably see stuff like that and they're like, ooh, I don't know about that. But if
Right,
you put it in
exactly.
perspective, if you're standing next to a dude, a lot of times it's like, oh, well, I'm not as big, right? Like a guy who works out, like somebody who's like,
Right.
so let's say somebody who's like I think Mike, I'll just use Michael Brantley as an example. So Mike is like 6'1", I think, and he's like 210. If I stood you next to him, you won't look as big anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, and people always look bigger in picture. I remember I saw what's her name?
Oh, what's
Steffi.
that?
I had braces once upon a time. No.
Oh wow, really?
That
Okay.
that was the next picture over to show people I'm not mean. Like I don't look big and mean like that. I'm nice.
Same person. Same person.
Yeah,
I got
same
you.
person.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember I saw Steffi Cohen in person. She's a I
Okay.
think she's like a 5-time record holder for powerlifting, and
Yeah. I
she's
seen her
like
in person.
4'9", 140 pounds or something, and she looks huge on Instagram. Huge. Like
Yeah.
when I saw her in person, I was like, oh, like So I got muscles, but I'm not big and bulky. Like that picture definitely makes it look like. But yeah, when I saw
Yeah,
Steffi
I
Cohen for
understand.
the first time, I was like, wow, she's not as big as like her Instagram makes her look.
And I'll say also too that some of it is you also got to think about like body fat. If you get your body fat down, then you're not going to look big and bulky because fat takes
Right.
up space as well.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So that.
And in that picture, I was like, I think I was like close to like 165, and like this year. So for football, one of the changes I made was just losing 25 pounds for this season, so I could move faster and be more agile. And so this year, I think I weigh like 143 right now. Last
Okay.
year, I was like up to 168 during football season. So that's one of the
Okay.
changes I made just to be faster, be more agile. So that picture, like my arms were big because I had a lot of muscle and I had a lot of fat over them. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Yeah, you do that. Plus, you get the pump. You're like, okay, and then
yeah.
you get the lighting just right.
Then you get
Bam.
the hex lighting, the
There you
overhead
go.
lighting.
That's right. So have you ever had a Monday? So you're playing tomorrow. That's Saturday, and the DOMS hits you about a day or so later. Have you ever had a Monday where you had to like record videos for clients or train somebody who's coming
Right.
over to the house, but you're like still sore and beat up from the game? And how do you deal with that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, so luckily I have some like awesome clients, and I've had clients like that have been with me for about 2-3 years now. So they know what it is. And every
Yeah.
football season, on Mondays I always explain it to people, especially after the first game. Like I feel like I was in a 10-car pileup and I rolled 10 times into the car. That's literally how I
Yeah.
felt. My neck is stiff. Like every single muscle in my body is sore. So when I go to perform a movement or show them like, hey, like it's mostly anything abs. Like mostly like I can perform a lat pull down if I'm showing them, hey, correct your form here. That's fine. But when I have to like lay down and my neck muscles are straining, like that's when it hurts. And I just straight up, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sore. But
You're
I'm
like,
like,
well, just show them a picture like that.
I'm
Like, look, this is what I've been doing this weekend. Okay, give me some slack. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I go down, it has to be at least 3 people on top of me because I just
I
keep
hear
dragging
you.
these legs.
Talk that talk, Kinzi. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. And
Yeah,
there you go. Hey, where you going? Where you going? Get back over
yeah,
here.
nowhere fast.
I like that. I like that. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your channel.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people,
Yeah,
found
let's
out
do
about you through. And so the start question. So Jared wants to know if you still put it up here. Jared wants to know if you still have the Rep Blackwing bench. Do you still have that?
No, I planned on keeping it, but after I did the review, I was like, why am I going to keep this? Which it really did pain me to get rid of because that was my first, like, I don't know if you guys remember your first piece that, that's Rep or Rogue, and you're like, this is it. Like, this is so
Yeah.
important to me. That was kind of the Blackwing bench when I got it. It was like my first piece that I'm like,
Okay.
and the Fringe Sport Dane, like that was kind of like, hey, this is,
It's like I
I'm
have a
stepping
real
up.
home gym now.
I have a real rack.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when I got the Blackwing bench, like that's how it felt to me. But with the space that I have and with moving it around, I just knew it would sit in the corner and collect dust. And that honestly pains me more that pains me more keeping it collecting dust than going to a home that someone's going to use it and abuse it and, actually, yeah. So I really wanted to keep it, but yeah, I ended up just selling it because, you know, and I know this is jumping forward in the questions a little bit,
No,
but
that's
where I
okay.
don't have brand deals yet, like I have to take that cash and buy a new piece so I can
Right.
review some more. So that was kind of
Right.
like my headspace is I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this cash. I'm going to get something I can review and, you know,
And something
forward
I'll
the
use.
mission. Yeah,
Right. And
exactly.
something I actually keep on using. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly.
All right. That being said, so you mentioned that you don't have brand deals yet. So this is, I think, a good time to oh well, hold up. Jared said, good call. That bench isn't for me either. You know, I have an AB 5200, the 1.0, and I actually like that. If maybe the 2.0, I've used that at Home Gym Con. So out of all the rep benches, I would say that the AB 5200 line is like my favorite one. So I'm actually not like team Blackwing either, but I know that there are some people who like it. Oh my God. Look at Michael's like, I'm 209 and a half. Stop adding on. I said 210. You know, let me tell you something, okay? Them shirt sleeves are cutting off the floor bloods of your brain, okay? You need to run. Mike's my guy, man. Mike's my guy. But yeah, so yeah, I'm not on Team Blackwing either. Let's see, and somebody else said, he said, yeah, Eric said, I know Gluck didn't like it at Home Gym Con last year when I told him I thought he'd be bigger. Like literally, we look big, you know, or whatever, depending on who you're standing next to.
Right.
Carp said it was like that when I stood next to Jay Cutler. He had muscle, but he's like 5'7", so you couldn't see him behind the folks lining for autographs. So that's kind of like you put things in perspective. A lot of bodybuilders tend to be shorter, and you also got to think about it too. Like I've been to a few bodybuilding shows, and all the photos are taken from below stage level, so you're looking up at them every time. And it also, so you know this already, but for people who don't know, when you do your lat spread, you're not like just spreading, you're also kind of arching a little bit because it makes you look bigger. So again, you're looking up at the person, and that's that. Also, all the pictures you see in the magazines or whatever kind of make them look bigger. But if again, you put them next to somebody else, it's like, oh, well, you just, you know. And then there's also people who look just like regular people in normal clothes.
Right.
They have to take their shirt, or what they call it. What do y'all call it? Like you got to peel I peel it when you peel your stuff.
Yeah, I have to wear a tank top so I look like I lift.
Yeah, it's like I got to peel it off, and then I look like I'm lifting. So, yeah, I look like I lift. So there you go. So, Mike, you started it, okay? You started it. He's talking about here we go. Carp says, I feel you in a rotation of equipment and money. It all gets moved around. But to be honest with you, when I started my home gym, I started working out at home, I couldn't call it a real home gym. It was a home workout space. When I started, back then, you bought stuff, and then you were always upgrading, right? Yeah. Because you bought what you could afford. Then you sell it and you upgrade to the next thing, then to the next thing. Yeah. And also, a lot of times the stuff was used. So, you know, if I buy something that used to be at a high school, you know what kind of condition it's in. It's been abused. So I have it for the lifespan has been shortened tremendously, right? Then it's like, okay, now I upgrade to something that's been enjoyed a little less often, you know, and now it lasts. So that actually makes perfect sense to me. I just think it's funny, like, because people assume that if you are a content creator, that you get the thing and you say that it's a good product. Oh, well, you're going to keep it forever. You're like, well, no, I mean, like my dream car, for example, is a Jeep Wrangler. I had one for a while, and then I had to get rid of it because we had more kids than we could fit in the Wrangler, because this is before the 4-doors came out. That doesn't mean that it's not my favorite vehicle. Doesn't mean that I don't like it, and I still plan on getting another one. But reality sets in. You're like, hey, I got to make decisions. And when I switch to the Wrangler, it doesn't mean I don't like a Nissan Rogue anymore. It's just, you know, so anyway. So here's another question. Carp wants to know if you're going to Home Gym Con.
I've been waiting for this to tell y'all that I am. I got a place to stay. I'm going to be there. Now, I am
So you're not staying in the hotel?
I mean, I am, but I'm bringing my mom. So she got, she picked the, you know, I couldn't go alone, and my mom said, "I'll go." She doesn't know nothing really about home gym equipment, but she's a strong lady. She said she tests things out with me.
Okay.
So,
You
so
bring your
yeah,
mom. Make sure you bring your mom to the live show. She's guest of honor.
no, she's
Shout out to your
awesome.
mom.
And yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get my brother to go. He also
Okay.
has a home gym, and
Yeah.
you know, he actually just bought like the bulletproof isolator. He's like, "Hey, you can come over and you can do your YouTube. You
Check it.
can do it. Yeah,
Nice.
you
Oh,
can make a
sweet. Yeah.
video on this." So I was like, "Heck yeah!" So I'm trying to get
Hold
him
up a second.
to,
Why
you
can't he
know.
just bring it to your house? It's like this big. Like it's very portable. Why don't you just bring it over to the
Well,
house?
he offered both. He offered both.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
I said, you know,
Continue.
it might be fun to be in a different space to show off his gym equipment and what my brother got's going on. So, anyways,
Nice.
I'm trying to get him to Home Gym Con as well. He's working on it. So,
Hey, I'm telling you. And once again, so this is my plug. Say, make sure you guys reserve your room, especially since you're bringing multiple people, because that
Mhm.
way you can make sure you get a room like with more than one bed. Don't end
Right.
up like I did, where I had a last minute I had to swap somebody out because my wife couldn't be there, and I was like, me and this dude ain't spooning, so we had to get a cot, and you don't live that life, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't cost you anything to reserve your room. The link is in the description. You guys can reserve your room, get the discount, and then if you are even if you change your mind, I don't know why you would, but let's say you change your mind or you decide you can't go, it's not going to charge you anything until you actually check out. You don't get charged till you check out. So go ahead, reserve your room block. Matt Ballino says, Home Gym Con, I see you guys there. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Matt. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And
Again,
please say hi. I love
yeah, come up,
talking, and
say hi.
I'm a yapper. Like I
Heck
like to
yeah.
talk. I like meeting new people. So please say hi if you see me. So
Heck yeah. So you guys make sure. So Matt, I know you're subscribed to Kinzi, but everybody who's watching who may not be subscribed yet, first of all, follow Coach_Kinzi on Instagram, and then subscribe to Kpex Home Gym Lab on YouTube. I'm gonna throw that up a couple more times
thank
before
you.
we get done today. Let's go back to what we're saying. So we got businesses who are watching on LinkedIn, and and then we got some businesses that are watching on Instagram as well. So what are you looking for when it comes to a brand deal? Like, what would be your criteria when you're like, all right, this is a brand. Okay, let's back up. This is something I already use. I like their stuff. I would love to work with them. So what would be your criteria?
Anything that's above 14 gauge still. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. No, I mean, I like companies
No,
that are
she's
very.
not. She wants 12 gauge minimum. Okay, she's not joking. We're gonna edit that part out. All right, all right. Go
I am
ahead.
joking. I'm joking.
All right, go ahead.
So, anyways, yeah, with me, like I was just saying, I'm a big communicator. So I just want companies that I can communicate with. I think some companies, I won't yell them out. I won't shout them out. But I think some companies, like, they just have so many, like, their customer service. They're not like Fringe Sport, right? They just have so many people working in different outlets. They source their customer service from all these different places, and so it's hard to, you know, get in contact and get your problem solved. And so I want to work with companies that, you know, I know I'm going to be able to talk to someone that knows what they're talking about. So, you know, I really have liked working with, you know, Fringe Sport. Obviously, I've talked to Peter here and there on the home gym page. So I love Fringe Sport, big fan of Fringe Sport. Force USA, their one of their
You're
showrooms is
not far
actually
from you,
here in
right?
Utah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not far. So I was
Okay.
able to go there and, you know, I have the compact leg press from them, and I was able to go talk to them in person, try out their equipment. So, you know, love Force USA for that. Um, and then, yeah, I actually recently reached out to Yukon Fitness because I've had a couple of their machines, and I wanted to try out their like leg extension, hamstring curl, but they haven't messaged me back. So I don't know. But I don't have any brand deals yet because I kind of wanted to just try my hand in the home gym space. And, you know, my YouTube channel, I feel like is doing really good. Like, I feel really confident about it. I feel like I have, like, I can do better, even better with it. And so I definitely have high hopes for my YouTube channel. So I'm kind of trying to wait to see when the brand deals are going to hit me up, you know, and say, hey, I want you to review this. But as far as criteria, I just want someone I can communicate with. I'm just a huge communicator. So as long as it's a brand that, you know, they stand behind their customer service, then I'm your girl.
So one thing I got to give a shout out to Bells of Steel. We've got affiliate deals.
I like Bells of
with,
Steel too.
Yeah. And I mean, I like Fringe Sport, but we don't really have an affiliate with them.
Right.
So the reason why I brought up Bells of Steel specifically is because this is something I feel like it wasn't a criteria before, but until I saw that they were doing it, I said, "Oh, hey, yeah, why doesn't everybody do this, right?" And they send out a newsletter. So they send out their normal newsletter to everybody, right?
Right.
But they send out a newsletter to just affiliates. So you don't have to like go onto the affiliate platform. So you don't have to go on the affiliate platform to find out stuff. You can do that with a lot of brands. You just go on the affiliate platform, see what's there, see what the deals are. Bells of Steel sends out an affiliate only newsletter to let you know, hey, we're coming out with this product. This is what we're really trying to push. So discounts are going to be available on this, that kind of stuff to help guide you a little bit in terms of what content to put out there. So you're not just randomly putting content out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And also it works in reverse too. Because if okay, most of the affiliates are probably going to be pushing this thing and you don't want to get lost in the noise.
Right.
You can say, well, I'm going to push this other thing. Or maybe I'll piggyback off of this and say, hey, there's another thing that's from the same company that I want to push, right? So you can kind of make decisions that fit you best because in advance, hey, next month, this is what's happening. Whereas there are affiliates that we know that we have deals with where I find out what they got going on when I see it posted on Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. So then I'm like, oh yeah, let me quickly repost what I'm like, you know what? I ain't doing all that. I'm not doing it. 5% is not worth it to me,
Right,
and I just feel like seriously, if you want me to be what I used to affectionately call an underpaid salesperson, 5% commission, you need to kind of meet me halfway. You know what I mean?
Communicate with me. Let me know. Yeah.
Would that be your deal breaker for branding and cause you to walk away from the brand deal? If like they're not consistently not communicating with you, or if not, what would be your deal breaker?
I mean, honestly, it's more of a deal breaker for them because if they're not communicative, like we can't come up with a plan for our YouTube, or like our YouTube videos we're putting out for that product, so it's really like they're shooting themselves in the foot because they're not letting, the people making them, like you said, to glorify, these salesmen, they're not letting us know like what's coming out so we can plan like a good video and, what our angle is going to be and all those types of things. So I don't think that would necessarily be a deal breaker, but I mean, I'm one of those people, like I will give you 2 chances, third strike, you're out. So, So yeah, I mean, it might not be an automatic deal breaker, but it does get frustrating real fast when you're working with a company that doesn't communicate.
So I think to go kind of like to push this a little bit further, like I just don't want to be disrespected.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all it is. Just don't disrespect me.
Right.
This is one of the few times I'm gonna quote Shannon Sharp, but I remember him say something one day. He's like, "You don't have to respect me, but I'm not gonna let you disrespect me." And I said, "That's important." And what makes me maddest about it now that I know that it's that I thought about it is, you think about it like when they put out their email newsletter, they write it ahead of time.
Right.
So why do I have to wait till everybody else gets the same newsletter? You couldn't send it to me at least a day in advance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like it could be the exact same email. You literally, and don't tell me that you don't schedule it. You using Clavayo or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, to push it.
Like you seriously can't just have us. I know you've got like a database of all the affiliates. You literally couldn't just say, okay, well, it's going to go out to all these people on this date, a week ahead of this. So now when you make your announcement, I've already got a video out maybe.
Exactly.
Because now people feel, and that also helps me out with traffic because now people know, hey, if I want to find out about the latest, I can go to that person's YouTube channel or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll find out about the new deals. I'll get a discount or whatever. Instead, they find out first from XYZ brands. And then if they happen to follow you, they see, oh, yeah, well, okay, he's talking about it too.
Yeah,
I'm like, again, meet me freaking halfway. You know what I mean? My mom's
Again,
watching.
it's
She'll
just
hate it
it's
when I
just
say freaking. Sorry, mommy. She doesn't like it when I say that. So I'm sorry.
you could do the Utah term of that, and it's flipping. I don't know
Flip
if
it.
that's
There you
better,
go. Yeah.
Mama.
She probably ain't gonna go for that either.
Okay.
but I mean it's seriously irritating because I'm like, it
Yeah.
shows that no matter what you said in your email when you reached out to me to ask me to work with you, really didn't mean it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Um
Yeah.
so I think my favorite review so far that you did was the one on the 4-6 Fitness Flex Arm.
Yeah.
Because I liked how number one, you broke it down. You talk about, you address some concerns, but you also talk about like why you got it.
Mhm.
And what was an awesome touch was you add in the description. So anybody who hasn't seen it, I'll link to it. So for people in the replay gang, it'll be in the video description for this video. But you've got in your video description a list of movements that you have been able to do with the product. So if somebody just looks at it and says, well, what could I, like, you're like, well, what can I do with this or whatever? You've got a list of things you can do with it.
Right.
And that gets the juices flowing for everybody else to say, oh yeah, okay. Now it's got my wheels spinning.
Right.
Carp said, you may have some brand deals after Home Gym Con. That's actually a good point. You go to Home Gym Con, you make connections with people. And if you want, I will introduce you to everybody that I know.
That'd be awesome.
I'm
I'd
sure
love
Carp
that.
would do the same thing. And I'll say too that one thing that I noticed that brands like is they rather have somebody who has a small but engaged following,
Right.
than
Yeah.
somebody with a big following that maybe doesn't have as much engagement or whatever. So
Yeah. Exactly.
I think you got a lot of potential to be able to do some stuff. Home Gym Hub says, good morning, boys and girls. What's going on, man? Hey, Spencer. And then that's another thing I didn't think about. He says, I've always thought companies should do that, like the gun and the tech companies do. You already had it for a few weeks to test. So that's another thing Bells will do. They'll send it out to you ahead of time, say, hey, this is what's coming out. What do you want from this list this quarter? So you can have it. And then we're going to be, so when we're pushing it, you can come out and say, hey, I've got this, I've had this thing. Let's, this is what I think of it. And that, again, that's meeting you halfway.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I like that. But to go back to the thing, so that was my favorite review you've done. What's been your favorite product to review so far? Whether it was just fun to do it or because of the response the video received?
So I think the Force Flex Arm has been one of my favorites too, just because it's really what I really like to do. I wish, 10 years ago, I went to go to school to be an engineer. I love just seeing the way things work and the way things can serve multiple different purposes. Obviously, in the home gym, we all love that. We love an item that does more than one thing. And so the Flex Arm was my favorite for that because I just got to, really mess with it and see all the movements I was able to do with it. And that was really fun for me because that, I was able to put out a couple different videos about it, whether it be a short or whether it be, just a long YouTube video. So that was my favorite too. The Rep Blackwing was also my favorite. The Blackwing versus the Nighthawk that came out. The reason why is because
that's got like 3,000 views.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a pinnacle moment for me because, obviously no one knew that was dropping, at least from what I could tell in the home gym community. Right. And at first, people were chirping about it, kind of getting mad. But I was like, you know what, this is my opportunity to make a really good video because I could just see the annoyance with the Blackwing, and I read through everything that the Nighthawk was offering, and I was like, if I am one of the first people to put out a video on this, it's going to do really, really good because there's so much controversy about, oh, they didn't tell anyone we're putting this out, or does the Nighthawk even matter because, Rep has this bench, this bench, this bench. But I was like, people are going to want to know, if this bench, since it's 88 pounds, if it's going to be stable. People are going to want to know that. People are going to want to know if it does everything the Blackwing does. And so anyways, that was one of my favorite videos just because I
don't know what's going on there.
I was excited.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what's going on there. Okay. That's funny.
But yeah, so anyways, it was just a pinnacle moment for me because I knew that video would do good if I could put it out on time, be one of the first people that puts that video out because I know people would want to know about that bench.
Nice. So I saw my guy Joe Gray reached out to you and asked if you could share it in the newsletter.
Yeah, I was stoked on that.
Which obviously helps with your views. So like I said, it results in, you got 3,000 views on it. My personal favorite video has 669. So we need more people going to check that out, get those views.
Yeah,
up.
I got a copyright flag on it for one of the some of the music in there, and then
okay.
And I'm a noob with YouTube, so I didn't know if that was fixable or what, so I just left it. But that's probably why it has low views on it. I think it messes with the algorithm.
You can go to I'm sorry to cut you off. You can go into YouTube Studio and click on the copyright, the notification that you get the copyright strike. Oh, hopefully you didn't know. You didn't get a strike. You got the copyright claim. A claim is just saying that they're going to give the money to somebody else, right? Because of the music. Gotcha. So you click on it, and it may give you an option to change the music. From like the YouTube library. So you can just do that. I mean, option B is to literally take the video, because you still have the original video, right? And so you could literally just upload a different version with different music, and then you're back to
if y'all see another part 2 that's the same one, that's why.
Or you could actually you could also say, well, now do what you call it, I don't know, a few weeks later I noticed this or whatever, and that kind of thing. Just tweak a couple of things and you still do it. So let's see here. We got a few more. Mike said make your own music. I mean, you could also use platforms like Licked, but I also tell you that if you do a brand deal, one thing you could do is include the cost of the music in it. You say, okay, look, it's going to cost me this much I'm going to put the music in there. If you pay me enough money, I don't care if I don't get any YouTube money, because that's all it means. The video's not going to be, because it's a copyright claim, not a strike. You'll still be able to see the video. So you're just not going to get that money added to your YouTube revenue.
Right. That makes sense.
So it's fine. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Project 5 years into the future. What does success look like for your brand, and why?
Yeah, so in the future, I really want to do the YouTube reviews full time. That would be the dream. That I have the perfect setup to have equipment come in and out. So I would really love a setup like that. I don't know. You guys are probably familiar with Luke's Garage gym reviews.
You talk about this guy, right? You mean this guy right here?
Yeah. I love his reviews. I've been, and I like how you can tell he does a lot of work, like moving equipment in and out, and I'm not scared of that. That's my future plan. I definitely want to be a full-time, honest gym reviewer and just help people out, because I'm a person that does tons of research. I like to find out and I like to know things, and it's just so helpful to have people that have YouTube videos out there, that are very detailed, that go over every single thing. And I want to be that person for people. So especially the short kings, the short queens, the females in the space, there definitely isn't enough female YouTubers out there for home gym equipment. So I would love to feel, because a lot of machines, like, we're out here doing, crazy things because we're short, especially on the leg press hack squat combo units. Like, it was so hard for me to find one that I could actually squat to 90 degrees. So, just stuff like that, there's definitely there's a part missing in the space, and I want to fill that gap.
Nice. So we got a couple more comments before I let you go. So first of all, Luke says, oh my God, he says, thank you. And Iron Clinic BJ, he's backstage. He said, trolling, says, did she just call you a short king, Luke?
Wait, Luke, how tall are you? No, I wasn't calling him a short.
Luke is taller than me, so he's like
six something. Yeah,
he's like 6 foot, 6'1". He said, and so here we go. He said, yes, girl, I watched your Force Flex review. Amazing job. We need more female reviewers. He said, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get ready. He's getting ready to head out to work. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
But he says his arms are only 14 inches. I don't know what to do.
I might be coming up close on you then, Luke.
Hey, look, all you gotta do is tighten your shirt sleeves. All right. Hit up Michael Brantley. He'll tell you how to do that. Okay. Eric said he's 6 foot with shoes on. Well, Eric, there we go. Luke is 6 feet tall. That's what I'm telling you. I have a picture somewhere of me and Luke standing next to each other, and I'm 5'9". Okay. So I know how much taller he is than me. So anyway, now he said he's got 16-inch arms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Hey, Mike said, wow. Hey, look, I'm telling you, I told you, you started this war, okay? I was minding my own business. Anyway, look, Kinzi, let's finish up. I want you to tell everybody, because we didn't even get a chance to talk about, get too much into the how you get clients signed up for online work, although we did talk about your training and stuff a little bit, and that you have clients. So let me, as we let you go, I want you to let everybody know how they can reach out to you if they're interested in hiring you for online or in-person coaching. You know, you might have somebody want to fly out, or if they are a brand that's watching this on LinkedIn and or wherever, and they're interested in working with you, give them information so they can reach out to you for that as well. Okay.
Right.
So,
perfect. So the two ways you can reach out to me is I'm really good at answering my Instagram DMs. So at coach _Kinzi on Instagram. And then my email is jimcat94@gmail.com. So super easy there. Yeah, those are the two places that I am always checking messages on. So email or Instagram.
Awesome. All right. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for getting away too early with Garage Gym Life. Definitely got to have you back on the show. And I definitely want you to be there at Get Up Early. I'm just going to one more time. Get Up Early one more time. Be at my live show in the audience. And I want all of you guys to be there too, so you guys get to not only meet Kinzi, but you get to meet her mom, the guest of honor. Okay.
Yes.
So shout out to Kinzi's mom. And in fact,
that's where I get my arms from.
We gotta get her a name tag that just says Kinzi's mom. I think that'd be legit. All right.
I'll get her one.
Hey, thanks for swinging by, Kinzi. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have an awesome day. Go show those clients with who's boss. All right.
Yeah, I will. Thanks everyone. Thanks, John.
All right. Later on, Kinzi. Later.
See ya.
All right, so that was Coach Kinzi. Make sure you guys are following her at Coach Kinzi on Instagram. Make sure you follow her or subscribe to her on YouTube. You know, subscribe to at Kpex Home Gym Lab on YouTube. She's got some awesome stuff. She's just getting started with her YouTube channel, and I know you guys are gonna love her content. There we go. Let's see a couple more comments. Matt Ballino says, "Short Kings for the win," and Eric says, yeah, you should come back and review our Home Gym Con experience. Man, you know, there are going to be so many of us who are going to be flogging the experience. That's going to be a good time. All right, before we get to our next guest, just a quick update. So I've been dropping body fat. Mike, you're talking about my belly fat, Mike. All right, but I have been dropping body fat. I haven't done anything special. Consistently logged 10,000 steps a day, and I actually hit the 30,000 steps in one day milestone last night. I've been drinking more water by virtue of I've got it right here. In fact, I got my Stanley thermos. This is a 1.5 liter thermos. I had to get it customized with the Garage Gym Life logo, but I basically just fill it with water and water flavor, empty it, refill it, and it takes about 4 refills to get that done. And then I hit my water goal for the day. And then I also replaced some of my snacks with healthy choices. Like my wife got this Archer mini beef sticks, which is probably upside down. Yeah. These Archer beef sticks from the store. And you can check out, I mean, if you want a Stanley thermos, you can also check it out by clicking the shopping button. But you can check out these beef sticks. They're high protein. This is original flavor. You can check it out by clicking that shopping button. It's going to support the show. And it's also going to upgrade your choices, give you something that tastes good to snack on and that won't derail your goals, especially if you want to do the something that actually Mike did inspire me a little bit with going low carb a little bit. So I am following your advice. All right. So there you go. Anyway, Mike said that post was directed at somebody I went to high school with. Hey, I'm sorry. I caught the shrapnel. I had to come at you. No, man. I actually, be honest with you, I like that stuff. Like when somebody talks junk or whatever, even if they're not, like the whole Michael Jordan. I'm not saying Michael Jordan, but like Michael Jordan used to like invent stuff in his head. Like that's part of how like I'm like on the treadmill. I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing my ab work. I'm like, hey, I ain't about to let this dude talk about me anymore. So, So yeah. Hey, you good, Mike? You my guy, man. You my guy. So now, once again, now it's 8:01. Shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel. If you are on LinkedIn, please do me a favor, go follow our LinkedIn page, Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. We are getting closer to the mile. We only need 150 followers on the page so that we can stream these interviews there instead of on my personal LinkedIn. And we're getting closer. So please go follow Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life on LinkedIn. And it just makes more sense to stream it on the Garage Gym Life page. So I would appreciate that. So whether you're watching live or on replay here on YouTube, make sure you click like, click subscribe, and also share this video with somebody who you think might enjoy hearing from my next guest, who is BJ Nelson. BJ is a content creator at the Iron Clinic Gym YouTube channel, as well as on Instagram and on TikTok. I'll be honest with you, BJ and I got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but, you know, we got through it, and he is here now. And so everybody give him a warm welcome, and let's go ahead and bring BJ on here. BJ, you ready to go? All right, so BJ's ready to go. Here you go, second guest of the day.
A little bit of walkout music. I love it.
Dude, I'm saying you were supposed to have the Ric Flair robe on. I don't understand. Did you not get that email? What's going on with you? Explain.
You know, I was going to wear a really, really bright and colorful outfit like I usually do in some of my videos, but it's 40 degrees this morning here in Cincinnati. And I went and put on a hoodie and jeans right before I got on for you today. So,
well, your layout is bright and colorful, so I feel like that makes up for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, when you work from home, you got to stand out, right? You can't have one of those fake virtual backgrounds.
That's right. Yeah, that's you got a lot. Carlos is watching, right? And so Carlos does a lot of like reviews, like tech reviews, video game reviews, so that. In fact, Carlos just did a video. Was it this? I don't remember, Carlos. Was this past weekend when you did the Gears of War? Because Gears of War went to PlayStation, and I think Carlos just streamed that. But anyway, my point is that he's probably checking out your background, and you know, he's like admiring your background a little bit. So I appreciate you being here, man.
No problem.
So let's start by clearing the air. Okay. In fact, here. So you and I actually had a sort of a, let's say, tense first interaction because I saw you doing a promotional post for Mikolo's Bastet. I think that's what they call it. Their multi-point adjustable bench. And the first thing that popped in my head, because I know Jay's been on my show a bunch of times, and on the strength of that, and just because I like seeing people get credit for their work, my first impulse was I commented and say, so that basically is just a copy of the Exponent Edge Infinity Bench. So I am willing to admit that was not my most diplomatic Instagram comment ever. But I do appreciate how you calmly responded. So, you know, right now I'm going to say, look, I apologize. I was out of pocket a little bit. So thank you. But that being said, how awkward was it? Because you've worked with Jay in the past. How awkward is it when Mikolo reaches out to you, says, hey, we want you to kind of, you know, work with us on this bench. You get the bench, you're like, ooh, or, you know, you see it, you're like, oh, this looks familiar. Now you kind of like, you got a contract to fulfill, but you're stuck between two brands. So how awkward was it? How'd you navigate that?
That's a great question. And first, how's chat doing right now? Are you like, oh my God, mom and dad are arguing? John, thanks for saying that. But I got to be honest with you. It did not affect me nearly as much as I think you think it did. You know, my grandfather loved to say that if you go through life without upsetting anybody, you didn't do anything worth talking about. And I try to remember that all the time, right? You're going to do things that are going to upset people, and that's okay. The goal shouldn't be obviously to upset people or piss people off or whatever, but you know, it's going to make waves sometimes, right? And so your comment, I did not take any offense to it. I get it. People are going to have their opinions and feelings, and I just went about my day. And honestly, until you brought it up again, I had literally completely forgotten about it. So,
okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, wipe it clean. Wipe it clean.
You don't remember anything about this conversation.
Yeah. So, you know, interesting. You're right. Interesting question, right? How do we navigate this? And I think it's an interesting topic in the home gym community and something we've been seeing come up so often lately.
Okay.
Some of my fans love the fact that I use the term dilly-dally in all my videos, or most
of
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, there we go. Shout out to your fans.
Yeah,
They're the reason you're here. So yeah, we acknowledge them. All right, but go ahead.
You know, in the home gym community, I feel like a lot lately we've been seeing people getting upset and talking about the so-called copycat products, right? The things that are so similar to one another, but at the same time slightly different. And I think that's where it's really hard to make a decision on this, right? It's hard for me to say that nothing should ever be replicated or improved upon or tweaked in some way, because if we never had any new products come to market that were even a little bit similar, we'd have just Rogue, and we'd have just, you know, some other manufacturer making plates probably, and then Rogue would probably swallow them up, and it'd be just Rogue, right? And we don't need a monopoly in the home gym world, in the gym world, period. But there's obviously a fine line between just straight up copying a product and mirroring it completely. And in my opinion, doing what Mikolo did, which was, yes, it's a very similar concept. The bench is adjustable in multiple different points, but the form factor, the overall build of it is obviously completely different than Jay's. Which one's better? I don't know. I would love to test Jay's out one day. I've worked with Jay in the past, obviously, and I'd love to put them side by side and really put them both through the ringer to see the strengths and weaknesses of both. But I think competition in the home gym world is good. But I also think that this copycat conversation, this stealing of intellectual property, which is a lot. There are some cases out there that I feel like are a lot more black and white with regards to, like, that is a direct copy of what we're looking at here. And I think some of us know exactly who we're talking about most recently with some of the bigger brands getting into some of that stuff. But it's hard to put that label on a lot of this stuff sometimes, in my opinion. At the end of the day, my job, I look at my job, John, is just be somebody who can educate the audience on what it is they're looking at purchasing. It's not my job to say what's right or wrong. At the same time, though, if I do see something that I feel like is wrong or dangerous, I'm gonna, put that out there. But thankfully, I haven't had to do that yet. I have walked away from a couple asks, though. I'll tell you that.
Okay. So first of all, you got a couple of shout outs. So Home Gym Hub, Spencer said, shout out to a top 32 finisher in the bracket, Iron Clinic Gym.
Oh, I just did biceps today, and my biceps just like pulled. Woof.
You're like, oh yeah, that hurt. So I did my wife and I did a leg workout yesterday, right? We're working out at the same time, but not doing the same thing, right? So that's what we always say, like, we're like gym partners, but we don't work out together. But anyway, so we did legs, and naturally we had somebody who's coming over to do some work here on the house, right? So of course he came over right, like, late enough that the DOMS had hit. So we hear hey, he's outside. We're like, oh, we got to go downstairs to get him, to let him in. And we're both looking at each other like, who's going to sacrifice themselves as tribute? Right. Like, we're both, you can hear us going down the stairs like, oh. So yeah, I completely understand. And then my guy Rory Ellis says, get this dude some more followers. Hey, you know what, Rory?
Rory, I appreciate it.
I'm listening to you right there. Bam. Follow Iron Clinic Gym on Instagram. He says the Iron Clinic puts out too much good information and content for the amount of followers he has on Instagram. And I'll even chime in and say, you need more YouTube subscribers as well. So everybody subscribe to @Iron Clinic Gym on YouTube, because
I really appreciate that,
guys. You're making good content to the point, like, when I first, so I did the way that you got on the show. I did a post. I did a community post to say, hey, which smaller YouTube channel creator should I have on my show next?
Yeah. And
your name popped right up, right? People were talking about you. So that to me tells me that people love what you're doing. And it's a matter of time before that's reflected in more people seeing your stuff. Because what I don't like is, and this may just be a home gym community thing, I don't know, but you get people who watch something, they like it, then they don't share it with anybody else.
Right.
Even if they know other people in the home gym community. They're like,
right.
Or they're on a Discord, or then they don't say, hey, I just saw this video, check this out. Right.
Yep.
But let it be something negative immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see what this did happen?
Right.
Well, I'm like, you realize you're giving publicity to the brand that you don't like.
Right.
I'm like, let's share good stuff. So that anyway, but that's why you're here, right?
Yeah, it's a time tested tale, right, John? Like, people are always going to go online to share something negative, and part of the reason the Iron Clinic started, the idea of the Iron Clinic, was I was so frustrated with how hard it was to get any kind of information on fitness at all.
Yeah.
it's so hard, right? Because there's no black and white answers for the most part. There's a lot of gray. And most of it is very highly catered to the individual. But there are, in my opinion, some hard and fast truths that we can share that we know are time tested, right? The squat, the bench, the deadlift, the overhead press, like these are staples and workout routines for a reason, right? And so there are some things that we can say, for the most part, for the overwhelming majority of people, you know, doing X is going to get you to Y, right? And the idea that information was so hard to find, honestly, it really ticked me off. So I wanted to create the Iron Clinic to share that, but also share the positivity, because I'm sure many of you have seen Joey Swole on TikTok and Instagram. Like, the dude goes out there blasting people who are being rude in gyms or on social media about fitness in general. And to me, that is like the biggest service that anybody with a following can do, is to, you know, shine a light on that negativity and be like, that is wrong. Do not do that. But then also go out of their way to share that positivity, to share that encouragement and that motivation, because there's days that I don't feel good. This morning was one of those days where I'm like, I didn't want to go work out. And if you saw my live stream earlier this morning on TikTok, you saw me talking about that, right? I did not want to get out there. I did not want to work out, but I did. And it made me feel better to get out there. And in those moments, these people that you surround yourself with, these people you interact with, or the videos you watch and listen to are going to help lift you up in a way that is almost inexplicable. So if I can contribute to that conversation, if I can contribute to the positivity that somebody finds in one day and make them laugh, make them smile, or make them feel a little bit better, that to me means that I've done something really great that day, and it makes me feel fulfilled.
So you got we got the comments coming in here. So Carlos Sanchez from Synergy Custom Fitness. Hey, what's up, Carlos? He was on last week. He said, I agree, Rory. He said BJ's content is too good not to share.
Thank you, Carlos.
And then Eric wants to know, how do you feel about people trolling Mitchell Hooper right now? Look, I think it is hilarious.
Look,
so let's go ahead now.
I
don't even know what y'all talking about, because I don't see stuff like that because of how I filter through things. But here you go.
I love messing with people. This is my favorite thing in the world to do. I love egging people on. I love messing with them. And we can get serious when we need to, right? But life is too dang short to take too serious all the time. So let's poke fun at each other. Let's make fun of BJ wearing Baby Gap youth shirts, whatever. we just gotta at the same time be respectful, right? There's that line between like you're just being a bully.
Yeah.
And that like no, like we have somewhat of a relationship. We know we're yanking on each other's chain a little bit. And that can, you know, I feel like, especially for men, I obviously can't speak for women, but especially for men, I feel like that's how a lot of us bond, is we kind of put each other down a little bit, right? But at the same time, those guys are going to be there for you. And I know my best friends are there when I need them, but they're always the first person to say, like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard someone say.
Yeah.
So it's that fine balance. I'm all for it. Make fun of each other. Let's have fun. Let's not take life too serious. It's too short, and we're all going to end up at the same place on this rock floating through space. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
100%. Let's see here. Got Rob from Vintage Weight says, good morning. What's up? Another awesome YouTube channel. What's up, Rob? Appreciate you jumping on here after before going to work. Hey, Rory, you do not have to send that to me. I see your comment. I'm cool. Like I said, man, I go out of my way to avoid. So like when I consume something, and Rory, you're gonna see what you gotta understand what I'm saying. When I consume something, I understand that no matter what it is, it's gonna have an effect on me at some level, right?
Yep.
I don't like putting garbage in.
Yep.
Right. And unless I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
Right. If it's something I can physically or personally do something about, sure, let me know. Somebody's starving somewhere, they need money, I can contribute to help them out. Cool. That's fine. But if it's just something that's essentially a bad thing someone else did somewhere, that doesn't affect my life. And so I'm like, I don't need to. And I also know that I've done enough. Heck, I started out this interview with apologizing to you, because even if it didn't bother me, I had to say at the end of the day, there's certain behaviors that I'm like, that's not a good testimony for my faith. That's not how Jesus would act. And so I'm just not gonna do that, because quite frankly, that's not who I am. So, but at the same time, if I look at somebody else doing something bad and I'm like, well, dang, look at the stuff that you've done. you know, I can't put myself on now I will say I've never cheated on my wife and I'm not going to, but that's when you get in the situation where you start to say, well, you know, look at me, I'm so much better than this other person. And that's a slippery slope. I'm not. So yeah, I'm good. That being said, I'm not too good to follow Iron Clinic Gym on TikTok. I'll do that. All right. You see that segue? I'm a professional. You understand?
I appreciate that. Oh, wait till you see this upcoming review that's coming out next week. The segues are impeccable.
Oh, there you go. So speaking of segues, we talked a little bit about, you know, your content, your channel, and you talked about how why you started your channel. Sure. Channel's 2 years old.
Yeah.
You got 238 videos last time I checked.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And you got 118,000 total views. And I think it's interesting that you started it with podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Then you moved. So that's that right here. Then you moved to gym vlogs with some, quite frankly, this isn't even a word. All right. But Bugenhagen-esque titles, right? That's what I'm saying, right? As it started out, gym vlogger number 4 said chest and arms.
Right.
Then let's going down to, let's see, where's the one here?
Behemoth of a man.
Behemoth, there you go. Behemoth of a man. Yeah, that's definitely. I was like, oh, that's.
But hey, watch that video and tell me that title's incorrect, right?
No, it works. It's just like the way you phrase it. I said, oh, that definitely sounds. Grown man gives up because of cold weather. I'm like, yeah, these are straight out the Eric Bugenhagen playbook, right? And now you're doing product reviews. So,
right.
Before we talk about reviews, do you plan to get back to doing training vlogs and podcast episodes?
Yeah, what a good question. When the idea of putting all this stuff online came to be, the idea in my mind was so grand. And you know, when you have those moments where you're like, I'm going to jump in the deep end and just go for it. That's what I did. And I was like, we're going to do a podcast and gym vlogs, and we're going to be on Instagram and TikTok,
do it all
at the same time. Do you guys know how much work it takes to edit a 90-second TikTok video or an Instagram? Like, I don't think most people understand how much work it can take. Now, don't get me wrong. I can put together a 30-second TikTok that takes less than 30 seconds to edit. But a lot of this stuff, I take a lot of pride in my work. I put a lot of time and effort and energy. This review that's coming out next week for Landmark Athletics, I have never put so much time and effort and energy into something. The video is 27 minutes long. It's a crazy machine. There's a lot going on there. But I put a lot of effort into it to make the content, one, hopefully beautiful, but two, also educational and impactful. Thank you, Luke. So I wanted to do all of that, but it was way too much at the same time, right? And hey, I loved that mustache, for the record.
Talking about your mistakes.
My wife made me get rid of it. I think she's listening right now too. I miss the mustache. I've been longing for it lately. Anyway, well, the gym vlogs for me was honestly a way for me to figure out like what the heck I was doing. The podcasts became way too unsustainable very quickly. That takes a lot of time to edit. If you're talking for 30 or 60 minutes, you're watching and editing 30 to 60 minutes of content, and you have to watch the entire thing to cut out the clips, to edit the audio, to get rid of the silence, like whatever, just to make it as fast as possible, right? Without misconstruing what the core of the message is.
And for especially in the beginning, for no money.
Right.
You're not getting any return on investment, and it's taking you away from things that potentially might be making money.
Exactly.
So that's what people don't understand. So people tell me, hey, you need to have a podcast. You need a podcast. I'm like, what you don't get is like, it's basically me. And then I have people who help out here and there, but it's basically me doing this. Yeah. So this is a 3-hour show, right? Every time a 4-hour show. Every time I say 4-hour show, I think of the Gilligan's Island thing, right? But I literally, it's going through my head right now. 3 hours, like, okay. But in my head, it's like I would be taking time away from doing stuff that's earning money to then use that time on something that doesn't earn any money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you have to make decisions. So that's what I'm saying is like, is this something that you might do down the road?
Yes, it is. Okay. Most recently, especially, I want to get back to doing the gym vlogs, because the gym vlogs for me was me figuring out how to do this stuff, how to do the editing, how to use my camera. I had until recently a $300 or $400 camera that was not meant to do what I was making it do, but it worked. And I was figuring out how to do the lighting, how to make it look appeasing, how to cut up the content, how to edit it, all that stuff. And so I was quite literally at the start, John, doing 4 vlogs a week to try to, it was more in my mind about getting that quantity out there so I could learn more, so I could figure it out, do as much as possible, and figure out what worked and what didn't work from like a process standpoint, not even so much from a content standpoint, but from a process standpoint. Still put out high quality messaging, but really focusing on the execution of it all. And then out of nowhere, a brand reached out, wanted me to review their equipment, and I was like, really?
Okay.
Me? Okay. So I started going hard on that, and it came at a really pivotal moment for me, a really crucial moment last year. People close to me know how hard last year was, and it was a moment of sunlight in an exceptionally dark period of time in my life. But the gym vlogs have been something that I've always wanted to continue doing because they are the things that I've wanted to hear throughout my life at different periods of time. They are messages. They are moments of clarity that don't seem that obvious to you when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the dark in those moments. So if I can share that messaging, that inspiration, that drive for somebody else that helped me get through something, I want to get that message out there. So I want to get back to the gym vlogs on a regular cadence. I would love to do another one a week again. But right now, obviously, we're still focused on getting out regular reviews on a somewhat regular basis every 2 weeks. But then, of course, putting out the regular Instagram content and the regular TikTok content, which is all varied. TikTok's going to be more of that trendy, meme, funny, but also motivational stuff, short form media. Instagram is going to be some reviews and a lot of chaos, stuff to just make people laugh. Again, I want to make people laugh. And then, of course, on YouTube right now, we've just got the reviews. So I want to bring it all back together at some point, but I'm doing it very strategically to make sure I don't get overloaded and don't let the other things suffer in quality as well.
From a content standpoint, and shout out to Steve Goggins. I see Steve got joined on Instagram. What's up, Steve? Steve, for those who don't know, Steve was the first man to squat 1,102 pounds. He's my powerlifting coach. And I'll tell you this, the way that relates to what you just said is, in terms of gym vlogs, I'm old enough to remember, I'm in my 50s. And I remember when we would get DVDs, right? And you play the DVD, especially when I was working out at home, and we were still getting DVDs. I would put the DVD in, let's say Dexter Jackson, the Blade 2K. I think that's the one that pops in my head, right? And so I've got these videos playing while I'm working out, because then it's like I'm replacing the public gym atmosphere with the audio from the video, right? Yeah. Now, the reason why I mentioned Steve is because, a lot of those Ronnie Coleman videos that everybody loves so much.
Yep.
Okay, those videos were shot when Ronnie Coleman was working out with Steve.
That's amazing.
A lot of people don't realize that Ronnie was working out with Steve in Atlanta, and there's so when I went to Steve's house, he was training us in his garage, and you had pictures on the wall showing him training with Ronnie Coleman, right? Oh and because remember, Ronnie was wearing a powerlifting. I don't know if it's an Inzer suit or whatever, but he was wearing a powerlifting single ply suit when he was doing his heavy deadlifting and everything else. Well, he was training with Steve, right? Yeah. All right. And so for me, I feel like we've lost a ton of content that I found enjoyable when I was getting started working out at home. Mm-hmm. Like where you had this video can be your workout partner. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And that's why I like the workout vlogs. I like hey, I don't care if you edit it or not. In fact, free shout out to James Grage. He's got a garage series where he started working out with his son. Then he had another one where he's showing his son how to work out. That's awesome. And then he's got another one where he was like, well, he's kind of changing goals a little bit. And so he just had this series where it's no editing. You can even see the cameraman wander into the mirror a couple of times. He's like, I'm not editing anything out. Yeah. Right. And so my wife does a vlog right now. It's in our members only section. But we don't edit that. Mm-hmm. In terms of content, the only thing I might do is add just for time. I might say, okay, well, I'll put a video when she said, okay, well, I did this and this and this week. Right. I just clip it out and put it in there. But I'm not editing anything to make it look better or anything like that. And I feel like we're missing that on YouTube right now because everything is so driven by products because they're gonna pay us. Yeah. And so it pays you. It's okay, well, that's my reward. I got to do product reviews. Yeah. If I want to get that reward, right? Right. I just feel like we lost something.
I agree. And I can tell you this, it's been interesting doing these TikTok lives. I've been doing 2 to 4 of those a week where I literally just work out. The entire workout is streamed on TikTok. Yeah. And I quite literally, John, the other day had a guy tell me that he was literally working out with me. Nice. He was watching it and doing his workout. And he was chatting with me while he was doing it, and it was the same answer that you and your buddy would have, right? I'm doing a hack squat, whatever, and he's like, "Come on, do 500 pounds instead of 4, whatever." He's on. It's
Yeah.
that same sense of community that, to your point, when you're working out completely by yourself, it's almost irreplicable. And having that even in an online presence is really cool.
Yeah, because you do it's like you do a set, then between sets you make your comment, just like you would be talking to somebody between sets. Or yeah, I'm telling you, it's like there's a certain atmosphere that you just don't have.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself in the home gym. But this actually goes along with the next question is Home Gym Hubs wants to know, are there any companies that you've loved working with?
Yeah.
So what's your answer to that?
What a great question. So for me,
Let me leave it.
you know, I love building the relationships, period. That's, you know, what I've done in my career has always been relationship, client-centric work. And building the relationships with these brands is tough. They are a tough nut to crack sometimes. They're probably getting hundreds, maybe thousands of messages a day from guys and gals like me who want to work with them. And I've got to find a way to stand out. Now, I think my content speaks for itself. I think it's pretty dang unique compared to what's out there. And I know my engagement rate is significantly higher than creators of a similar size in mine. But there have been a few companies that I've really enjoyed working with, just from a partnership standpoint, but also the ability to communicate and talk with them. Most recently, I've been really, really enjoying some of the work I've been doing with Bodycore. My review for the Squat Box Pro came out a week or two ago, and I'm a big fan of that product. I know it's controversial. It's a very polarizing product in the home gym community, and it's certainly not a perfect one. And if you watch the review, I think you're going to get that. But Bodycore has been really interesting to work with. They've been very supportive of my work, and I can't reveal a lot right now, but there's some really big things coming, really big opportunities for me personally, but also for them in this partnership that I think are going to be exceptional in the months to come.
So I know I saw that you did like the initial version, then you did the Pro.
Right.
So I actually just watched that the other day when I was like researching for this, and that's actually what led to. I was gonna ask something similar, but then like, hey, and who do you like working with or whatever?
Yeah.
Now I believe you have affiliate links, which
right.
I originally was very opposed to them, but as I mentioned to Kinzi earlier, I've started basically exploring them more. I'm like, well, maybe I just need to educate myself better about it, because there are people I know who are making good money off of it, but I don't want to compromise like how I do, like in terms of how I do the review. Like I don't want to give somebody bad advice just for the sake of a check.
Yeah.
No matter how big the check is. And then at the same time, I'm not interested in being an underpaid salesperson either.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, like, do a ton of work. Like so I just as a side note, so I did some stuff for a brand, tons of content. We're using this stuff all the time. We made them like 1,200. I saw the thing and it showed that we had made them $1,268, right? So they sent us a check for $68. I was like, all right.
Right.
Like, can you imagine being a furniture salesman and that's like the split? Like, you're like, well, how am I supposed to live on this, right? So think about how many couches you got to sell, for example, if that's your source of income. And at some point, Garage Gym Life is my retirement plan, right? I want to retire from my job, and when I retire from my job, I want to do this until the day I die.
Right.
Well, I got to make money. I'm not trying to, because I don't trust Social Security like that, So this has to make sense for me. But I'm just trying to pick your brain now. So, what are your criteria for work? I know you said you like building a relationship.
Yeah.
So what have you found are like best practices for working with a brand as an affiliate?
Sure. So, on the note of like affiliate links, this is not my day job. And I think some of these brands things that I'm out here, like you said, John, trying to be a salesman for them. No. Every dollar I've made, which is not a lot, but it's something, has gone completely back into the gym itself and improving it, improving the gear I have, and improving what I'm able to put out for the people from a content perspective. For me, the most rewarding thing is literally not getting the email that says, congratulations, you made another sale. It's getting the comments from people saying like, oh my gosh, I love this, or this helped me understand that, or hey, I really like this video. Or even the comments like I had last week from a guy on one of the more recent reviews. And he said, this seems too polished for this rack. It seems like a paid ad. And I was like, well, I always do a very good job of being very honest, the good and the bad. I'm not just going to slice in just the good there. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about it. I quite literally tell brands, that if you tell me it can take 1,000 pounds, I'm going to throw 1,000 pounds on there, and I'm going to figure out where it falls short. Most recent, or probably the biggest one I did this with, was Jason Rosenblatt and his squat harness. I'm a huge fan of that. He sent me the V3, and I asked him, what's the weight rating? And he goes, I think about 500. And I'm like, well, I'm going to load 525 pounds on it.
Like, you told the wrong person that. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to deadlift 500 with it. And I did. I did it on a video, and I posted it on Instagram.
Okay.
And Jason was like, we've never done any formal testing, but now we know it can take 520 some odd pounds or whatever.
Nice.
Now the new one can do 1,000 pounds, so I'm not going to test that out. I'm not that skilled. But when a company tells me like it can do X, I'm going to find a way to break it if I can. Now I'm not going to intentionally break it. I'm not going to do anything to abuse it.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I'm going to test it. I lift heavyweight, and I do real workouts. This is not a lab. I am not a sterile environment, and I put these things through work for 60 to 90 days minimum. So when I work with a brand, most importantly is that I'm going to use your product for 60 to 90 days. So if you're wanting a review in 2 weeks, it's not going to happen. Right. I can get other things out in a shorter amount of time. I've most recently worked with a brand who wanted me to put out 2 to 3 videos a week for the next like month and a half. And I'm like, no, I'm not a salesman. That's not what I do. Okay. I'm going to use your product. I'll get some short form videos out while I'm putting the review together, but I'm not going to be able to put out 2 to 3 videos a week. I have a real job and a family and a life outside of all of this. So for me, what's important when working with the brand is understanding what I'm going to do and appreciating that, and also being able to work with me on getting to that end goal, right? So if they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing for something different, that's not what I'm in this for. I'm not in this to make a check right now. I would love to make this a full-time job someday. I really would. Content creation, not reviewing products, but content creation, helping people, coaching people. But right now, that's not the reality. So every dollar I make, fantastic. Throw it back into the gym, reinvest it into this. But I'm looking for partners who really want someone who's going to give honest, true feedback through real workouts. Again, not a lab setting. I literally work in a gym that is so uninsulated that you can sometimes feel the wind blowing through the cinder blocks. I mean, the garage is literally like 100 years old. The ground, I was just talking to Bremy the other day. We were talking about the differences in our floor heights for our racks. I've got more cracks in my floor than somebody's Hollywood celebrities and the makeup they put on. So we're working with something real here. I mean, that's it, right? It's bare bones ceilings. There's wires hanging from the lights, although I have cleaned up the wiring for the lights lately.
Okay.
But that's it. That is what it is. And it's real. It's honest. And I need companies that want to be able to work with that. And I think they appreciate the authenticity of it, but also the fact that I'm really actually using it and really using some real weight with it sometimes.
So you just got a new subscriber. I put it up on
Kevin
Home Gym Gains, and I need you to sub back to him because Kevin, he's doing what he does, reviews as well. He's in Japan, brand new company, brand new channel. All right, it's very, very new. We got some awesome stuff. He's been on the show, so I need you to go sub back. Everybody watching is go sub to Home Gym Gains and sub to the Iron Clinic as well. So before I don't want to lose this comment here. Rory said we're talking about the working out at the same time thing. So there's an app called Synergy that does the exact thing. So basically it's a social media Skype type of app for home gym owners. Yeah. So you can work out together. He said, and they will be at Home Gym Con this year. That's actually pretty interesting. I'd love to see that. Rob said, I've only recently subscribed to Iron Clinic, but the thing about his videos I've noticed and it's inspired me to improve with known content would be your camera angles. He said in a rack review, you were lying on the floor. Yeah. Simple but effective. So yeah, I do like that.
I try to make it good to watch, fun to watch, right? I mean, I've been lately doing some just static shots, just trying that out. I mean, I, of course, splice in a lot of other stuff, but instead of doing 2 or 3 different angles, really trying just one shot for 2 reasons. Setting up every one of those shots takes like an hour, like literally getting the lighting right, getting the camera angle right. It takes like an actual hour to get that set up so that it's going to look good once it goes on YouTube. But every time you move that camera, you've kind of got to reset it. So you've either got to sacrifice a little bit on the quality and maybe spend a little bit less time setting it up so that you can still get it done in your day-to-day life, or film that static shot and make it as perfect as possible. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed that lying on the floor one. That was an interesting one. I'm definitely going to be doing it again.
So that's one of the reasons why we actually got the Osmo. So my wife actually turned me on to the Osmo Pocket 3 from DJI. It's and this is not anything sponsored, although I will take money. And if you would like to grab one for yourself, we've got the link. It's on the shopping button right there on YouTube, so you guys can click that. But Um, the thing I want to say, I wanted to address the polished thing. Okay. So when was the last time we've all watched TV? Everybody watching this has watched TV at some point. Okay. When a McDonald's commercial comes on, you understand that everybody in that commercial is a paid actor, right?
Right.
So when was the last time you said, you know what? I'm not going to buy a Big Mac because the people in that commercial just, they were paid. They don't really believe that that's a good burger or
right.
whatever your favorite thing is from McDonald's. And I'm like, it's almost like people they equate authenticity with poor quality.
Yep.
So like I told you, I'm in my 50s. So I remember the community access channel. And I think that's what people expect YouTube to be. Like the old crappy, it's like, you know, like the image quality on PBS is not as good as the image quality on this network television here in the States, right? All right, well then community access was worse than that. All right. It's worse than that. Like if Sesame Street had a bad day, right? That's the community access channel, because it's basically people filming stuff with like the crappiest equipment, especially back then. And it's like, that's what they expect. And I'm like, well, yeah, it takes a little bit of money to give you high production value, but don't you want to watch something that's entertaining, that somebody puts more effort into? Okay, I might be marketing a thing to you, or I might be showing you a product and I'm getting paid to it, but wouldn't you rather find out about it in an entertaining way? Than just, this is a microphone. More. You know what I mean? Like, this is an iPhone. I love it. And you know what's wrong with it? A whole bunch of things, and I hate it, and it sucks. Oh, there's my link. Go ahead. If you really want it, even after I told you it sucks, click the description. Like, come on, man. Seriously.
Yeah, that guy I mentioned earlier, or guy or gal, whoever it was that left that comment about saying the video was too polished. Honestly, I read that as like a compliment. Like I was like, I put a lot of time and effort and energy into this. And I don't think people realize that, like, I write a script for this. I'm not winging it. Like, I am compiling my thoughts over 60 to 90 days. And then I'm putting it all together in a script. I am putting it into sections, making it.
You use a teleprompter, don't you?
Yeah, I use a teleprompter. Like I actually, it's funny. I just got an actual teleprompter. I was using using my tablet on like a book stand, like a Kindle stand. And so I would have to, it took so much longer because I'd have to look, read it, be like, oh yeah. And then I'd look at the camera again and like say it. It would take literally twice as long to film a video just because of that. So I got the actual teleprompter. It's a lot better now, but it's a real script that I work on for, you know, probably 2 weeks, quite a few hours putting that all together. And it's from a script, but those are my real thoughts. Those are my 60 to 90 days of use thoughts, so that I can give you that information. But also, I take pride in my work. I want it to be as good as possible. So to your point, I'm not just going to put out a crappy video at 720p on YouTube that's only 30 seconds long.
Like, what is this, man?
Thing.
Yeah, because then you won't watch it. To be honest with you people, they'll trash talk the polished video, but they don't watch the crappy one. They watch the polished one, unless, and I'll say this, so this just happened yesterday. So like my most popular recent YouTube short is of me bench pressing without wrist straps on. So and it was high volume. So I did high volume, and then I said, well, let's go ahead. I record all my work sets anyway. And so I said, well, let's just find out, let's just see what happens. If instead of putting on wrist wraps like I normally do, let's see what happens if I just go no wrist wraps this whole thing, right? So I ended up going like 225 for 9, and I did like 245 7, and I did 275 for 5. So first of all, nobody notices that the weight's going up, right? Instead, they all think it's like I did 225 for 5 reps or whatever. Who cares? Right. But the point is that video is more popular than the videos where I bench like 340 pounds or 325 for reps or whatever. They don't care about that, right? No. So it's like, and I mean, when I say like popular, I think the video where I bench 340 has like maybe 1,000, 2,000 views. The one where I bench in 225 in the beginning, right? Last time I checked, so yesterday morning it had 21,000 views, right? And I'm like, seriously? And it's all based off of people coming in to drop mostly negative comments. And argue with me. And I'm like, look, it's not like I'm going to come to your house, tie you up, and force you to wear wrist wraps. Because I think wrist wraps, help you. Right. But it just gets me when people are like, they get upset about you having good production value, but then they won't watch the stuff with bad production value. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you expect me to do? Right.
The unfortunate thing about social media that I've learned is that, unfortunately, People want to be angry. It's the strongest human emotion. Like, we know that scientifically. Anger is, and being mad is the strongest emotion you can feel. So there's that. I mean, Facebook feeds on that, feeds on you getting angry and engaging more, right? So if somebody sees something that is like controversial, or you put out an opinion that's like, you're wrong if you do this, like, that is going to get so many more viewers. And I hate that. But at the same time, it's like, that's the way the algorithm works, because that gets people to engage and tell you that you're wrong. And then other people watch it, et cetera, et cetera.
They want to argue. In fact, so it used to bother me when people would troll, but now when I see the troll comments, I'm like, oh, that's engagement. Cool. Now I'm going to say something smart back. Okay. I don't back down. Right.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I'm like, you're not hurting my feelings. If it ends, and actually I've seen that YouTube where someone delete comments and then the person's responding to what I guess they think I deleted the comment. And they're like, yeah, I can't believe you said. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Right. But yeah, so that doesn't bother. I'm like, hey, I think the last guy that was trolling me, I said, man, never change. And in fact, I'm going to give you the link to another video. I want you to show up tomorrow and troll that one too, because you help out my algorithm, please. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike, I'm in my 50s, man. I was born in 1973, August 4th. The world changed for the better. So what would be a deal breaker and cause you to walk away from a brand deal?
You know, I think it's going to be pretty tough to get me to do that, because if there's a piece of equipment that is, let's say, like, not good, dangerous, like I tell these clients, I'm going to put that out there. Like, there's no editorial review process for this, right? Now, I'm not going to go slander anybody, but if I film me, and I film every workout, that camera comes with me every single workout. I film literally everything I do. If I get footage of me doing something on your piece of equipment that you say it's able to do, and it completely breaks on me, critically fails, whatever, that's going into a video. Yeah. So I'm not afraid to work with a brand like these budget brands that might be selling some cheaper equipment that has some faults or is cutting some corners. But what I'm not going to do, I kind of mentioned this earlier, is work with a brand that's pushing me to be the salesperson. That's not my job. Again, I'm not in this for the affiliate sales. That's great. It's amazing. It's, again, allowing me to reinvest and improve what I can do for the channel. But I want to be putting out information that's helpful to people. And I want to be getting it out on the schedule that works for me in my life. This is not my full-time job at this point. And if they can't respect that, if they're pushing it, well, then it's just not going to work. And I'm okay walking away from that. It doesn't mean they're a bad client. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that I can't provide them what they need. And I'm fine with that. I'm okay. I'm okay saying no. Because you're not going to be able to please everybody.
So one thing with some of the budget companies, and I've got some stuff from brands where I'm just like, the one that just popped in my head is when I was like, look, I think that I see what they're trying to do, but I don't think that this rack is ready yet. And I think that they need to go and make some changes, right? And it looks like they did. I'm assuming they didn't, because they've got a version 3. I got version 1. There's a version 3 out, which indicates they've made at least 2 changes, right? Yeah. So cool. And hey, happy for you. But I do say, like, look, like, that's what it kind of like bother, like, it'll irritate me, because then I'll get the email back. I'm sure you get it too, where like they send the email and they say, hey, you know, this thing wasn't really, you know, maybe you're like, one of them said, maybe you're too strong and this doesn't reflect normal people's experience. So maybe you could take that out because it's normal people. I'm like, well, look, dude, you knew what you were getting when you watched my channel. When you claim that you were, you know, the introduction email. In fact, I just got one literally while we were having this, during this, I got the thing, right? And it said, it says, hi, I'm reaching out because your powerful content caught our eye. We specialize in home fitness. Okay, so that tells me that you're claiming that you watch my channel. Right, you understand. Right. So then when they come back and say, well, could you change? I was like, well, you saw, like, I don't do that for anybody else, right?
You know, I think I've had moments like that too, where I've used a piece of equipment.
They want you to change something.
Yeah, I've had a client who, they didn't want me to change it, but they were like, oh, thank you for putting that out. Like, they took it as actual good feedback, and they did not want me to change it, because the way I put it in the video is this: what I lift, what I do, not what 95% of the population does, maybe even less, right? So, you know, when I was using a leg press and it was catching when I was doing 900 pounds, which the limit on that thing is 1,000. That's not what most of the population is going to do. Now, I think it's still a flaw, because the thing says, hey, I can do 1,000 pounds. I'm pushing 900 and it's getting a hiccup in there. I'm going to call that out, but I'm also going to say, However, for most of you who are doing significantly less than 900, this machine is perfectly fine. It's perfectly safe too. It's not falling apart. But just know that if you are like me, you are pushing that much weight, this might not be the right machine for you.
So I remember Ashley did a video for our channel, and it was on a leg press hack squat combo. And she's like, she said, basically, it's the safety catches are in the wrong place. They're not in a good place because at her height, she's like, I have to either go on tiptoes to use the safety catch that's up higher, or I have to squat down too low to use the safety catch that's the next one down. And so she's like, this just doesn't work for me. And that's kind of like why I say, but then there are other reviewers who are male who reviewed the exact same piece of equipment. And so what one of them did was they said they had their daughter, who's like 4 feet tall, use it. And they're like, oh, it worked fine for her. But I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't negate the fact that this doesn't work. And so when that's what I'm talking about. When a brand says, well, you know, it doesn't, most people's experience won't be this. I'm like, well, how do you know? If I'm telling you, and another thing is, I remember another brand, like the welds were really bad. So, well, I don't know if that weld's going to fail because it's a bad weld. So I look at that. I look at the fact that I'm going to be putting this thing together, and I'm going to have to do something with it when I'm done with it, because I'm not keeping it, because I ain't about to lift on it. I just told you that I don't think it's, you know, going to work for me. So now who can I safely sell it to and not feel like they're going to kill themselves potentially? So all that stuff ends up like percolating in like the decision to do a brand deal on my end. So let's see. And Home Gym Hub says, I think it's tough because budget guys aren't trying to sell to guys like us. They're trying to sell to Susan or Bill who might use this thing once.
Yeah, exactly.
They just want you to review for the SEO or to help them make the final push for sales. Yeah, but then, and I get that, but then you also have to think about like, well, what does your channel credibility look like if you do a bunch of these budget deals and you say, I'm not saying you do this, but I'm saying, and you say that, and everything you review is the most awesome thing ever, right? And they're like, well, I could tell I bought this thing and it sucked. Right. It's like, well, and there's Ashley. There we go. So yes, HVO did that to me, saying that machine is made for gym pop and not elite. Disregard that we're both built the same way. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's like, if I'm 5'10", I'm 5'10". Right. So you're telling me that this is built for somebody who's 5'10". You know, let's look at the average height in the United States. Sure. And I'm like, all right, so this may be perfect for somebody in a country where average height is 5'6", but over here it doesn't work, right? So I think it just these are all factors. You got 3 different platforms that you work on. Which one do you like the most? Man, that's a good question. You know, for me, each platform has such distinct content that it's really hard to pick one. Lately, the Instagram content's been super fun. You know, the type of engagement you get there is different than TikTok, which can be super chaotic, super unpredictable, super memey sometimes, but also very serious at times. And I really love the uplifting stuff on TikTok. But the Instagram community is very vast. It's very wide, and there's so many people on Instagram compared to TikTok. There's a lot on both platforms, but I feel like there's a wider spread on Instagram with regards to the age ranges and the types of people that you're getting. YouTube is great. YouTube's fantastic. I do post YouTube shorts as well, and I obviously post the reviews and stuff. But the Instagram stuff, to me, you know, you can get more content out, more variety, which means you can engage with people more. And again, I love those engagement moments. So the ability to really comment with people, talk with people, make fun of them, make fun of each other, laugh with them, whatever it might be. So I want to, I knew we were going to run out of time, like I told you, but that's just cool because that means you got to come back. But I will say that you're a pretty big dude. And I absolutely loved seeing your transformation photos. Yeah. Right. Like seeing like where you came from. My question is, and I'll pull up in fact, I just pulled up the picture right here. Does that help you? Yeah. In terms of like brand deals? Yeah. Like say, I'm trying to think like more of like a generic fitness brand. I don't mean generic in a bad way, but I mean like not home gym specific, but maybe supplements or something like that. Because they look at this like, oh, this guy's looks a certain way. In my head, is like apparel companies might want to work with you more if you look a certain way than whereas like a gym equipment company, they don't, to be honest with you, care what you look like. They just want to know that you've got engagement in a thing. So does the fact that you have come a long way, you do have results to show, does that help you in terms of getting opportunities for expanded types of deals?
I think so. Obviously my reach is still small compared to a lot of these studios. We're about to hit 2,000 followers across all 3 platforms, which I'm super excited about. But the big advantage, I think, for me since the beginning has been the fact that I don't just walk the walk, but I talk the talk. Right. I can do both. And there's plenty of people who can do one or the other. And there's a lot of very knowledgeable people in the home gym community who have amazing followings and do amazing content and also lift. But I recognize that what I lift is very top level, elite level strength that we're talking about. And I've made a very drastic transformation. And I've worked with brands before who have quite literally said, hey, you don't have an enormous following, but 1, we like your content. And 2, you look huge or you look like you lift, and we want that for our content. So there's a desire for that image in using that content to kind of give people this true perspective of what's possible with it. I don't work with any supplement companies. I don't work with any clothing brands at this point. If you want me to wear one of your shirts, I don't know, send me something and I'll give it a try. I wear a youth large, but supplement companies to me are generally selling snake oil. I'll be honest. I don't think there's a lot of supplements out there that are really changing the game that much. I'm a very, very scientifically driven person. And unless there's peer-reviewed science to go along with it, it's going to be pretty tough to get me to use a supplement. I mean, I quite literally make my own pre-workout because I'm tired of the fluff in this stuff. So yeah, the size helps. I don't think it limits me, that's for sure. But also, people love seeing somebody throw around 400 pounds on the squat, 550 pounds on a deadlift. That's definitely unnatural and not the norm for most people.
Gotcha. So that's funny because Ari from Garage Gym Homie, my dude Ari, I got to get him back on the show because when I interviewed him, I wasn't doing the early shows at the time. And so we were trying to work around his work schedule, but he's a good dude for you to connect with.
Yeah.
Because he does supplements, and he said, well, he does pre-workouts for that very reason. He said, I couldn't tell you if a protein powder is working. Yeah. Because, it's like, well, there's a bunch of other variables, right?
Right.
He said, but I can tell you if I feel a pre-workout, like, did I feel more alert? Did I not feel it? But here's a big one. Did I take it and then did I crash afterwards?
Right.
Which is a big deal if you work out in the morning. Yep. Right. Now I got 8 hours of work or whatever to deal with. And now I'm here groggy or whatever. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's an important kind of whatever. I think I'm trying to think like another supplement that I think is worthwhile, vitamin D, which is technically a hormone.
And vitamin K. You got to take them both, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but you're not going to be able to tell if that's vitamin C. Well, okay, I didn't sneeze all last year. Okay, great. Sure. No, I guess it's working. You're like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's the difficulty with it. So I do get that, but I can see like potential. Like for me, like we don't do, my body isn't at the point where I'm gonna get those, but it's gonna happen. But then for me, it'll be what because my wife's already got opportunities, right? But it's like, well, what do I already like? Because if you send me a shirt and I don't like it, right, I gotta wear this thing all the time. Right. Yeah, it's itchy or whatever. It's a Vietnamese large or whatever. Right. I'm not, it's like, or it's like something. It feels like it's something I bought at the swap meet, so it tears easily. Yeah. Like I gotta like the stuff already. Yes, agreed. I think another one that was that has potential is like, like we're big fans of Wolfpack. So Wolfpack, if you're watching this, hey, hit me up. But we like their backpacks. Okay. So it's like that, like because you got like the meal planning one, and like I use the Wolfpack backpack all over, for a number of things. So that I was just curious to see if like that kind of lifestyle stuff was opening up.
Oh yeah, I'd love it. I mean, but like you said, most of the stuff, yeah, it's like, okay, it's great. In my opinion, gym apparel is great. It's fantastic, but it is expensive. And for what I do in the gym, I just need clothing to cover me. So
you need flannels. You just need a bunch of flannels. That's
that's what you gotta lean into that. I buy most of my gym. I'm not kidding. I buy almost all of my gym equipment at TJ Maxx because it's like, it's going to get used. It's going to get abused. It's cheaper there. And the only company that I've actually spent serious money on buying some of their apparel is Rascal. I love, people make comments about it all the time. I love their shorts. Their denim shorts are my favorite things in the world. And this is not hyperbolic. I'm literally about to buy a whole second set of all of them so that I have 2 pairs of all of them to wear because I like wearing them that much.
you kind of got the vibe of a dude that's into Rascal though, like the way that like the guy, I forgot his name, the guy who founded it, but yeah, that's I can see Omar Isuf. Yeah, that you guys seem like you would vibe. That makes sense. We got one final question is like, will you be at Home Gym Con?
You bet your hiney I'll be there, Jared. I'm so excited. It's literally like in my backyard. So we're going to be there. Going to be there all 2 or 3 days, whatever it is, and be walking around. Just look for the Jack dude who actually looks like he lifts.
Okay. Small shirt right there. All right.
Youth large.
All right. So, man, how can people reach out to you if they're interested in, you mentioned online coaching. So how can people reach out to you if they want to get online coaching?
You go to Iron Clinic.
Or if there's a brand that's interested in working with you.
Yeah, you go to ironclinicgym.com. That is everything BJ there. You'll find a link to get some one-on-one coaching and a consultation on that front. But of course, you're going to get links to my YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram on every social media channel. It is at Iron Clinic Gym. So it's really simple. Check me out anywhere you want. Message me wherever you want. I respond to just about everything. YouTube messages are a little bit weird. Comments sometimes don't come through, but you can email me, message me on any platform, and reach out. I love talking with you guys and lending the advice that I can give.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and I'll let you go get started with the rest of your day. And but we got to definitely have you back on here, man.
Anytime.
Hey, and I look forward to meeting you at Home Gym Con.
Yeah, same.
You are invited to be in the audience for the live show that day. I think it'll be a good time. I promise we will be done before the expo opens. All right, we're going to be done. Because, heck, I want to go see the stuff too. So we will definitely be done with that. But that is my guy BJ from the Iron Clinic Gym YouTube channel and also Instagram and TikTok. We got the links for you guys to be able to check him out and everything BJ does in the description. If you guys are watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang. I appreciate you. Make sure you click those links to the end of the description. Go subscribe to BJ. Go subscribe to Kinzi so that people know that, so that they get a good return on their time investment for being here and sharing their knowledge. Now, that is it for today's show. Before we go, shout out to the West Coast. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. I need you, those of you on the West Coast who just joined us, please wake up a little bit earlier next time. I wake up at 4 a.m. my time to do the show for you. You can wake up at 4 a.m. your time to watch the show. All right. So go ahead and make sure you get up way too early with Garage Gym Life next week. We're going to be doing a full react and respond next week as we dissect all of the home gym news items that I had to put off the last 2 weeks because I wanted to make sure we focused on the content from my guests. I also hope to have an exciting Home Gym Con related announcement for you guys. So make sure that you set your alarm clocks to get up way too early with Garage Gym Life next Friday. I gotta go because I have to run to my daughter's school to check out. She's got a history project that she's really excited about. So I'm about to go jump right headfirst into dad life. And but once again, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we will see you guys next week.